champion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Andy Ted Dad, for the 7 months, dude. Thank you for the prime. Holy shit. What a way to start the stream. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate you. Welcome in. Come in, say hi, say hello, everyone. My name's Mikey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to this live stream. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a good time. How's it going? How's it going? We've got a lot to cover today. We've got quite a lot to cover today. Google had their big show. I can't remember what they're called. They had their big show, their Google I/O keynote last night, which is some interesting stuff that's come out of it. Some quite scary stuff come out of it as well. But not what's scary. What isn't scary? Shadow, thank you for the prime, dude. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you, dude. Just so you know, every single time you Twitch Prime, every time you become a member, Super Chat, this number is going to count. If it gets to 40, I'm going to do a giveaway. Okay. It goes up if you use your Twitch Prime. If you become a tier 1, it goes up 1. If it goes up a tier 2, it goes up 2. If you go up tier 3, it goes up 3. If you give to memory, it goes up 1. If you give 5 members, it goes up 1. But if you give 5 subs on Twitch, it goes up 5. Because I had a message from the developer that says the integration is still in beta. The API is at full, and we are waiting for YouTube to raise it. So sadly, YouTube doesn't go up by 5. But if you want to support the channel, you can give 1. You give 1 5 times, that does go up 5. So hello, hello, hello. We got the Google Keynote AI to look at. We've got the chapter approved drama that is slowly brewing, and then we're going to do the 1,000 Tsons tier list. I think that's the plan today. I hope that sounds good. I hope that sounds fine. I think that should be a fun day. I have a video that is currently being checked over, if people might remember, a couple of months ago. And by months ago, I mean literally December last year. I did a hobby room roast. And that video should be coming out pretty soon, which is cool. Very excited about that one. A couple of announcements about it. Should be good. And then Friday, I'm streaming a game with Billy. We're playing 1,000 Tsons again. I've got 6 Zangor painted. I've got a mutility Vortex Beast on my desk. Okay. I just don't know what detachment to play yet. I haven't seen which one I want to play yet. Trolling Cleaner! Thank you for the 5, dude. Holy shit. Good morning to you, my friend. Hell yeah, dude. Be like Trolling Cleaner. Hell yeah. Dude, thanks to 5. Thank you so much. Get rid of the grey name cringe. That's true. That's true. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know what detachment to play this Friday. I think Billy. I'm going to ask Billy now because I forgot to ask him the other day. Whilst I remember, I'm going to ask Billy what army he's playing. At Billy, what you playing Friday, my gamer, my dude? I'll find out. So we're playing a game on Friday. We should be good. Myself and Billy, Georgie on desk, 1,000 Tsons again. I don't know what detachment to play, but I've got 6 Zangor, so that should be good. That should be fun. I'm gonna attempt to get a mutility Vortex Beast painted up. It's quite funny though. I had to do some minor nail filing last night, and quite literally nail filing on the Vortex Beast, because I realized when I bought him. Right, I'll show you. When I bought him, I bought him second hand, right? So here it is. Here's a mutility Vortex Beast. I've always loved the 1,000 Tsons lore. On the base, it had these on. And it had 8 of them in total, these like metal discs. I presume they're like washers or something. So it was very easy to well, it was nice because it was like weighted, felt very premium, but the problem was is every time it like fell over, it would like drop from a great height. So I dropped it on the floor, so thankfully, the model was mostly fine. It's just one claw. I don't know if you can see that one claw that's I've sharpened. It's just a little pinky claw compared to the other two. You can see that it's a lot shorter, a lot dumber. But yeah, so instead of like trying to like replace the claw, I just sharpened it into a new claw. It was an absolute mess. You have always liked Thousands Law. Your Space Marines are the successors. That's true. That's true. That is very, very true. So yes, I've been doing some nail piling, but I'm going to try and get this guy painted. I mean, mostly Vortex Beasts. Whilst I said they're very static in pose, they are one of the easiest models to paint because it's all skin and OSL. It bites his own claws, yeah. I'm going to have to get in that, like, nail varnish stuff that tastes gross when he bites his nails. So, yeah, so I'm going to try and paint that up. So I'll have 2 to use on Friday because they're super easy to paint. And then, yeah, so 6 Angor, 2 Mutilith, and Magnus, I think. I just don't know what detachment to play yet because I don't want to play Warp Meld because I don't have enough Zangor. I don't want to play Warp Thrall tank detachment because I don't have any tanks. I could print some Sekitar robots and put them on some bases because Games Workshop just don't seem to like me at the minute. So I don't have any. But I don't know. I could do that. I could just 3D print some at this point. Anyway, I just need to tell the entire my Discord that I'm going live. One second. Yo chat. I'm live talking. Chapter approved. Drama plus tier list time. Yo, chat, is the music too loud today? I turned it down a little bit. I didn't want it to be too loud. And then so everyone's going to be like, yo. Yo. What music, bro? The vehicle attachment was a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't disagree. It's not a lot of fun. I think Tom really sold it to me the other day when he wrote me his list for the Codex review. But the problem is I don't have Sekitar robots or loads of predators or whatever. So like the detachment will benefit like a rhino. There's music. Fucking knew it. There we go. I want you to be able to hear it in the background, but not too loud. There we go. So yeah, so I don't know what detachments are. I could play Risen Rubricae, but that sounds shit now, actually. I could play Grand Coven again, but it's kind of like the best one, and it's probably the one you're going to play. Or I could play Hex Warp Thrall Band, which is just awful. You should play the Grotmus detachment. I probably could, to be fair. I probably could play the shit detachment. It's not too bad now. I could try and build something to make it work. But that could be fun to play the Grotmus detachment with the new context of the new codex. Because like we looked at on Monday, it didn't actually look awful. Oh, we're about to pop and say thanks for trolling for the gifted. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by, Nick. Play the meta one. I did play that one the other day, and I lost. Magnus does get beef with the detachment rule. Yeah, I don't mind the detachment rule now, to be honest. Because, again, it's like, before it was poo, but now with all the other buffs, and then that on top, it actually works quite well, which is quite cool. So I could play Hex Warp. Is it called Hex? I think it's called Hex Warp Thrall Band. I could play that one. Do what I do, play the worst options because your wins are sweeter. The thing is with the Thousand Suns is none of the detachments, even the Grotmus one, are inherently bad. They just like... And the thing is with Thousand Suns as well, I'm thinking, barring like the vehicle one and the Warp Meld one, which is not really, from what I'm about to say, not really true either. You don't really need to tech into the detachment like you normally do. You don't need to really go, yeah, okay, because I'm running this detachment, I do need my entire army to be built like this. Because, like, as long as you got, like, 1 or 2 units, like, if you're running Warp Meld, you got a unit of 20 Zangors, maybe 30 Zangors, and then some Skyfires. That's it, done. You know, if you're running the vehicle one, you do want more vehicles. You got a few Sekitar robots, maybe a couple of Predators, and then whatever you want. I feel like Thousand Suns list composition will be very similar across all of the detachments. 9 minutes late to get the notification. I don't think many people are getting the notifications right now. I'm not sure why. I try my best. I always post on Discord. If you haven't already, please join. It'd be very cool. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people haven't been getting notifications recently. It's been weird. A lot of people mentioned it. So yes, I think Thousands list composition is going to feel very similar. It's going to be some Zangors with some enlightened. Some enlightened Zangors. It's going to be a couple of Vortex Beasts. It's going to be Magnus. And then 1 or 2 squads of rubrics. And then flavor, pretty much. I didn't get notification until about 10:15. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I've been noticing it. Like, the views have been, like, low at first and then climbing rather than being high then dropping off. It's been very... And I'm putting it down to, like, notification problems. Weird. But, chat, did you know McDonald's are doing Pokemon cards? I bought a Happy Meal last night just so I could get Pokemon cards. Look at this bad boy. Look at this bad boy. Look at Quagsire. If you had to say what are Mikey's favourite Pokemon, this card pack is most of them. Except for Jigglypuff. The Jigglypuff art. Let's fucking go. Pound, baby. I don't know why I'm like flipping them over like this. I don't know what I'm doing. This Rayquaza art is so nice. Look at this. Isn't that fucking gorgeous? I got these from a fucking Happy Meal, bro. And then I got this one. Yo. Roaring Moon Ancient Hollow. Chat, is this worth anything? I have no idea about worth of Pokemon cards. It looks like it's in good nick. It looks like it's in good nick. You have like 15. Are they worth anything? I doubt it. They came in a Happy Meal. It's a nice card though. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. It's very cool. Love a Roaring Moon. Did you buy it via DriveThru so you didn't need to hide the fact that you don't have a kid with you? 1, wouldn't be ashamed anyway. 2, yeah, I always go to the DriveThru. Yo, chat, time is about to run out. It's here. You got about 25 seconds to get a member through to keep it going. Yeah, I always go to the DriveThru. I never go inside. Who goes inside McDonald's now these days unless you're like a tournament? But you get, it's quite nice actually because you get like Nige, thank you for the resub, dude. Will you save it? Will you save it? You do. Well done. Great job, mate.
Celebrates 15 months of membership.
Great job, mate. Thank you for the 15 months, dude. What a legend. It's quite cute actually because you get that and you get some stickers. Now the stickers are a bit like sticks. It's one of those, and I was just like, I'm not doing that. But who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? I was like, Umbreon in here? Georgie's got to have that one. It's not going on this piece of paper. Dramper? Who the fuck is Dramper? Is he from Sword and Shield? Who the fuck is Dramper? Dramper. There's a normal dragon Pokemon introduced in Generation 7. That is Sword and Shield, isn't it? Oh no, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So I haven't played Sun and Moon, and I haven't played Sword and Shield. Yeah, my apologies, Sun and Moon. Yeah, they're the 2 generations I missed out on. I thought it was a McDonald's thing. I was like, why have they got a fucking dragon thing? Turns out I'm just an idiot. Look up Dramper Tef 184. How much is it worth? €5 euros. Do you think I care about this? It was worth 180 euros. Now it's only worth 5. Do you think I give 2 shits about this? doesn't even look like Pokemon. It doesn't even look like Pokemon. It looks like a kid's book. You know? And then they flew off on the dragon, happily ever after. Not to be a hater, but... Not to be a hater. That's cool. Is that real? Evolving. Oh. Don't dox me, please. It did. Fucking Amazon. Yeah, it's very never-ending story vibe. What the fuck's he doing here? What the fuck's going on there, bro? If you said that, I would have been like, yeah, fair. Anyway, I had no idea who that was. Speaking of Pokemon, chat. Speaking of Pokemon, have you seen... Have you seen... Do you remember when, back in the day, people used to collectively come together and play Pokemon? You remember when people used to collectively come together and play Pokemon via Twitch Plays Pokemon? Well, guess what? It's being emulated by AI now. Because of course it has. Of course it has. What you're watching right now is the stream, or the end of a stream, of Gemini Plays Pokemon. What is this GeoCities looking website? This is a live stream, and these are the emotes. But this is the Google AI Gemini completing Pokemon Blue. So they became champion, and actually they're doing it again. They're currently still playing. They've been in Viridian Forest for the past 3 hours. They've caught a card piece since I last looked, though, to be fair. So, if you didn't know, Google had their keynote last night. Google had their keynote last night about AI, obviously, because fucking talk about tech and AI together is like the only thing you're allowed to do. They had their keynote, but one of their big breakthroughs was the automated Pokemon intelligence, or API, which is having AI play Pokemon. And as you can see, this is the thoughts of the AI per step. So, and the justification of why it's taking a certain step. An actual human could complete this quicker. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the clip we just looked at, that it took 106,000 actions, and that's how many actions that it took to complete the game. And this one is currently on 1200, and it's still in Viridian Forest with a level 10 Charmander called Ala XXX Salah. But there's quite a few things. I just thought this one was just like, this was just, again, the dystopia of it. Of like, yeah, do you remember when we had like people coming together and everyone like spammed in the chat to make a guy move to try and complete Pokemon? And it was like a really culturally significant moment in terms of like online live streaming culture and gaming culture in general. It's just one of those things that everybody has an idea of like, oh yeah, remember when everyone came together and played Pokemon? This is just another way that a corporation has tried to take an idea and just sap the life from it with AI, you know? Let's not make AI do all the boring jobs, like, you know, deal with like fucking horrible things that people don't want to do, dangerous jobs. Let's get them playing Pokemon, because of course it will be. Give it a year or two and all the speedrunning will be done by AI. I mean, they already have tasks, right? They have a computer-aided thing to learn from, but yeah. Now Elon needs to do this with Grok for Path of Exile too. And then it'll just still be another guy in India just fucking playing the game for him. So it's just really just fucking. It's just sad, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just so annoying. It's also pretty blatant copyright infringement too, I think. Nintendo definitely don't like emulators. That's also true because what I noticed, chat, don't know if you remember, but Pokemon Red does not look like this. So that not only is it an emulated version of the game, it's also a modded version of the game because it's using Pokemon Red, Blue, Pokemon Gold and Silver skin, like palette for Pokemon Red. So don't know if anyone cared. I noticed that. None of the Pokemon in this or the world looks like this in Pokemon Red. It did not have color like this. Pokemon Gold and Silver did. So if you look on the because I spotted it straight away. If you look here, this screenshot here, for example, okay, this is the original. You can't see it because of me. This is the original Gary Oak from the game, but this sprite for Blastoise is from Pokemon Silver. Just saying. Just saying. Thought I'd point that one out, everyone. Because whilst I did play Sun and Moon, I did play the other ones religiously. So it's just a bit. Oh, we're gonna have it now. It's just a bit sad, isn't it? It's just a bit fucking depressing. It's just AI's taking over another thing. The only time I cheer for Nintendo is if they sued Google. I picked Pokemon Blue because there was a turtle with guns on it. There was a turtle with guns. It was very cool. I also noticed as well that if you look at the team that the AI is using to win, Spike, level 15 Spearow, level 22 Nidoran, a Pikachu level 8, a Batman Zubat level 9, Choppy, which is a Weepinbell, level 37, and Blastoise 86. Just steamrolled the Blastoise through the entire game. So yeah, so that's pretty cringe. But there's a lot of things from Google last night that I thought we could have a look at as well. But also, the time is about to run out, chat. No pressure. No pressure. About 20 seconds left. There's a lot of things. There's a full suite of tools, such as infecting Android with more AI. Oh, there's no sound on this. Great. I'll put the music back on. Maybe not this one. Look, chat, you can burn a water bottle, you know, burn the water of a water bottle to be able to show your phone a date and a time. And rather than just taking a picture, you can add it directly to the calendar. Did the mission pack chat happen already? No, mate. I've been live 20 minutes. It can add it to the calendar for you. That's it. Great job. Cool. Sweet. And then there's Imogen, the best image model generation yet. Why go outside when you can just generate it? You know? Why get a cat or see a cat or take a picture of a cat when you can just generate it? That just looks like AI and it looks shit. That just looks shit. It just looks like AI, you know what I mean? Like, the vibe of it, very cool. Right on my street, to be honest. But, like, it just looks AI, if that makes sense. It just has, like, an AI twang to it. And it's up to the calendar, sure, that's kind of useful. Yeah, but do we need AI again? Can you not just fucking take a picture or just put it in your fucking phone? There's some stuff that I agree, it could be handy, but it just feels like laziness as well. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can see the benefit of having that. It's just like, the problem is because I see more and more of this, I look at people like artists and I'm like, is this AI? You know? And then I have to like not appreciate it because I'm like, is this AI that you're trying to lie about? You know? But granted, whilst I hate AI image generation, it is getting even scarily more. It's more scary how good it is. You know? But like, why bother getting a cat? Fuck it, I'm gonna replace my cats with AI. I'm joking, I would never. The scary one was this one. This was the real scary one.
This ocean, it's a force. a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light.
Now, I know you can sit here and pick at this. You know what I mean? You could probably sit here and pick at this and say, well, that's clearly fake, and that's clearly fake. You know, I like look at the teeth, and I'm like, the teeth don't look right. You know, they look like blocks. But you know, it's only 2 years ago that we had Will Smith eating spaghetti. It's only 2 years ago. Where is it? The original one. It's only been 2 years since we had this.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot. Uncle Phil, come try this. Fresh pasta of Bel Air. Oh, that's
And then eyebrows are like, holy shit, it's the future, it's so good.
hot. That's hot.
Obviously, very famous video, but that was 2 years ago, and that's today.
And she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean.
Because the video is not only generated, but also obviously, like, that one is a video with sound put over the top. This is generated together.
It's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean.
That's the weird thing about it, is that's not a real guy. That guy doesn't exist. Isn't that strange? Because he looks pretty real. He looks like a pretty real guy. He looks like an actor. But that guy doesn't exist. And that's what's like really started to like worry me a little bit. It's just like, if I can look at this and go, yeah, that looks scary real, what are other people looking at it? Like, what are my parents looking at and seeing this and going, oh shit, that's basically real, and they'll just believe it, you know? If it's like comes out and says anything. It's just like a little weird, you know? Look at tech demos for Unreal 5. Yeah, but if that's generated, that's different. Well, if that's not generated, it's a little bit different, right? How can we tell what is real and what is fake anymore? Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, if I look at this and I'm going,
It's a force,
yeah, that looks pretty
a wild,
real, actually.
Untamed might. And
Again, it sounds a bit weird because the sound isn't quite right, but it's been generated, you know? And what's it going to look like in a year? What's it going to look like in 2 years, 3 years? This is today, you know what I mean? And if I think it looks pretty good, what are other people going to think when they see this and they go, oh, yeah, fucking, you should drive your car through shop windows, you know?
A wild,
It's someone they to believe. Drive your car through a shop window and steal everything. It's the only way you're going to survive, you know? Vote for this political party because they're the ones who are lying. Because look what they said, and then it's just a generated video of someone saying something they didn't said, you know.
and she commands your awe with every breaking light.
It's just like really scary good. Actually crazy. It's actually crazy how good it is. As a teacher, I'm going to say I've graded about 100 chat GPT papers. I 100% believe that because we are truly in the death of like traditional teaching, because like, how do you teach kids to to like write a paper by hand when they can just get a machine to do it for them? You know, they can literally just type in the question, say, make it sound like it was wrote by a 6th grader or a year 6 student or whatever, and they can just make one, you know? Why would they ever? Why would they ever, bro? We'll go back to pen and paper learning at school. I was watching a video about someone talking about this very thing, and they were saying that, like, trying to get a kid to write something down after, like, 3 or 4 sentences, they just gave up. You know? It's going to be AI teaching AI soon. Yeah, probably. Probably. Akuno! Thank you for the 30 months. Appreciate you.
Member, Akuna Matata celebrates 30 months of membership. Hi Miki, what should I get from McDonald's?
Akuna, you're banned from chat. Akuna, you're banned from chat. Thanks for the 30 months. But yeah, so like, this is like a kid in high school. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you use AI? You know, why wouldn't you use AI? Do you remember when we were at school, people my age, we were told not to use Wikipedia? Did we listen? Did we fuck? Did we fuck not use Wikipedia? Of course we did. And that wasn't even AI. That was just another guy who done our work for us. It's really easy to catch them out, though, because they won't understand what it means. Yeah, but the thing is with it is you forget that you don't directly ask a student questions a lot of the time when you're grading them. It's either an exam, which I think in America isn't as common as it is in the UK. Like, all of my, well, a lot of my GCSEs and stuff like that were all exams. In America, it sounds like it's a lot of, like, assignment work, like coursework. But as long as it's marked to the right grade, a lot of marks are done by coursework or exam or like papers, you know, like essays and stuff. As long as it says the right thing on the piece of paper, it doesn't matter what they personally think. Hell, people my age were told not to use a calculator. You'll never always have a calculator with you. That's also true. How they were wrong. All those teachers are like, they were trying to get in calculator stocks, you know? They were trying to get calculator stocks to get everyone to have a calculator in the pocket. Turns out iPhone was on the way. God, they really missed with that, didn't they? They really missed. They really didn't see the future of teachers, did they? My sister's a teacher at BTEC level, and they have software to do AI they run students' work through. Yeah, well, it's just be like, turn it in, right? It's like plagiarism type thing. What about when you tell the AI to write it as if it isn't AI, so it can't be detected by XYZ? You know? As they're getting better, they're not just going to stagnate, bro. At Grok, is this true? Fuck off, Kayari. Lots of people, not just kids, are outsourcing their thinking to language learning models. Too many people start relying on them for everything. We've seen Grok go on about white genocide. Important to remember there's people who control these things. No, 100%, especially on Twitter. There's been some like crazy shit with Grok where it's just like people are trying to, well, people. Elon Musk is trying to manipulate it to be very biased when it clearly hasn't been for a long time. But yeah, and literally, at Grok, is this true? It's just, yeah, the people don't come up with an opinion. They don't read stuff. They don't read stuff and think about it. They just ask the opinion from an AI bot, you know? What does this mean? Thing is, AI won't help you in an exam where you have to handwrite the answer. No, I totally agree. Which is why I said in America, actually, exams are, like, way less common, it sounds like, you know? Because from the couple of videos I've been watching, I said that, like, I've watched a few things and read a few things about it. It's that, like, Americans don't really have exams, and if they do, they have their phones available. Do we think we will see AI being used to promote people that might already be dead to keep a hold over society? Obviously, when you initially read that, it's very tinfoil hat, right? However, with that, there is nothing stopping them doing that in the future. If they don't quite have the technology right now, because if they did, Google would be selling a lot more of it. But using dead people via AI is not uncommon. Because if you just go to my likes on Twitter, because last week, Fortnite added an AI-powered Darth Vader. Now, chat, I've liked a couple, and I've only liked them to keep them as references. If I show one that says Darth Vader saying something kind of sketch, it's not because I agree with it. I've liked it because of the concept. Okay? I've liked the video because of the concept of what Darth Vader is doing, not specifically what's being said. Okay? Because I've definitely seen a video of Darth Vader saying the N-word. Alright? 100%. I don't remember if I liked it or not, though. I don't think I did. Yo, what about if a dead... We could use AI to bring back dead guys.
Freaking, fucking... What? Such vulgarity does not become you.
Not allowed.
Spanish. A useful tongue for smugglers and spice traders. Its strategic value is very well. Ork tour. These skibidi toilets. Are they some new form of rebel alliance?
Can you riz me up?
If riz equates to mastery of the force, apprentice, then my riz is unquestionable. Or a farming. Are you suggesting I concern myself with trivial aesthetics? Hatsune Miku, you inquire about mommy ASMR. Explain this phenomenon. Does it involve lullabies or some other form of psychological manipulation? Tell me. The gritty, is that some form of involuntary muscle spasm? Apprentice? I trust it does not indicate weakness. The bite of 87?
Fucking hell. Okay, I think I like the IGN one and then a post about it. I don't think I liked anything else, but I've definitely seen videos of Darth Vader calling people the N-word on the F-slur, okay? Which isn't funny, I just want to clarify. The concept of it is funny. The act is not funny. So, if your question is about AI keeping dead people alive to continue doing stuff, then yeah, 100%. Now, obviously, this is in character, and the point of it is to have Darth Vader talk to the people in-game. However, it obviously just fucking got out of hand. Yeah, what about, especially what you said about the Spanish. So can we keep people alive with AI once they're dead? Yeah, 100%. 100%, and it's scary. Now, I think Fortnite are actually being sued by the James Earl Jones estate because I think James Earl Jones gave full permission, or James Earl Jones estate, the family of, gave permission for Disney to continue, or Star Wars, Lucasfilm, to continue using James Earl Jones's voice to say stuff. But then to have James Earl Jones in an Epic game... or Epic Games Fortnite to be saying slurs is probably not what the intention was with that. It's, yeah, it's just very that. It's just very that. Like, what else can you say about it, you know? As I said, the videos are out there. I'm not going to search them out for this stream, but the videos are out there. Yeah, fucking hell. Crazy to be honest. James Earl Jones sold his voice and likeness to Disney before he died. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Let Darth Vader say pongers. Well, he said Hatsune Miku. That's enough, right? There's another AI generated video.
They left behind a ball today. It bounced higher than I can jump.
What manner of magic is that?
Two years ago we had spaghetti. Now we have this. Honestly, the idea of like art and like video as art is just dying, and art as a picture form is dying due to this, you know? It's just sad. Like, just think about anything that you watch on TV now. You're gonna have to be like super skeptical about it all the time, And that, like, it's just like, I'm already tired. You know what I mean? I'm already tired of it. All creative jobs going to get ripped away. No, 100%. Yeah. Cancel your Adobe Premiere Pro subscription. You don't need it anymore. You can just get a computer to do it for you. You know? Chat, I'm going to be replaced with AI before you know it. You know that, don't you? People are already watching fucking people with no cameras, VTubers and stuff like that. It's one step. One step. What if I suddenly become a VTuber and then my voice sounds slightly different? Only ever so slightly, though. How do we know you aren't already replaced with AI? Alex, you don't, I'm afraid. Dream is now VTuber. We'll get VTuber Mikey before GTA 6. No hate to VTubers, obviously, but just like that is like the easiest step to becoming a full AI streamer is to not have yourself on camera and have a cartoon character already, and then you just need to emulate the voice. What would your VTuber model be? Be me, bro. I'm waiting for V Mikey to say the fuck's sake, Jay. No, G. Fuck's sake, bro. So it's just like, oh, it's just scary, honestly. I think scared is the biggest thing that I think about it. You know? I think AI has a place to do a lot of different things, right? I don't think, as I've always said, I don't think AI as a concept is bad. I think AI as a job replacement system, when there's no other system in place for people to move, retrain, etc., is an issue. I think teaching AI how to do most commonly expressions of emotion via art is a problem. And I think them trying to play Pokemon when Twitch chat did it once before is cringe. You know? I think this is cringe. I don't need AI to play Pokemon. I need AI to solve, like, cancer research. You know? I need AI to, like, fucking go work down the mines. I don't need AI to play my favorite video game. I'm okay with AI taking over jobs. What I'm not okay with is not having a plan to share that wealth so we don't have to work anymore. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. There's no, like, plan. If we're going to replace all these people with AI, there's no plan to, like, fix the problem that we're inevitably going to have is too many people with no jobs because it's all be replaced by robots, you know? AI should be there to make systems more efficient, like making sure crops get enough water. Yeah, exactly. I'm not, like, completely against the concept of AI. You know, like I said, I was joking about the calendar thing. I'm not completely against the concept of it. What I am against is not planning for the future and just using it to just fucking create video and artwork that is just going to be used by scammers like we saw with the fucking Willy Wonka event. Imagine that guy doing the Willy Wonka event today. You know? Imagine the Willy Wonka guy doing his event today. It'd be a fucking success, but it'd all be a scam. So in favour of universal basic income? 100%. 100%. That's just such a smart idea, honestly. Yeah, everybody should just have an income, and if you want more, you do more. You know? No one asked to get put on the planet. You know? I always remind my mum of this. Nobody asked to be put on the planet. Okay? Someone made a decision to put you on the planet. Alright? And then you live in their house, they complain and shout at you, and then they make you move out and pay taxes. I tell my mum, I'm like, you owe me rent. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I didn't ask to have to pay the rent. You made me. You know? You made me. You deal with my rent. You deal with my bills. You made this, bro. And then she was like, go get a job. And I was like, fuck. I don't want to get a job. You get my job. You wanted this. You literally said, yeah, I'll get fucking... I'm not going to say that about my mum. I'm not going to say about that my own mother. Hypothetically, someone said, yeah, I'm going to get dumpstered for one night, and then for the rest of my life, I'm going to have this thing that I created, you know? Why does that thing that I created have to go deal with its own shit after so many years, you know? It's just fucking bollocks, to be honest. Mom battle report when? We're all just big grown sperms. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. That wasn't the bingo card, Jesus. Anyway, AI fucking cringe, right? Yeah, just fucking AI making art and video. Just fuck off. Solve the cancer problem. Solve stem cell problems. Solve world hunger problems. So just you know, all this shit that needs doing that no one else wants to do because it's not profitable. Get a computer to do it. Dumpster Jesus. You can say dumpstered or cumstered. It's up to you. Solve AI using all the water. Yeah, for sure. Chat, what's your favourite piece of art? I don't know, I'll just make it up mid-gen. Give me a minute. Biological determinism to give those deep breeding dumpster filling pies. Have I missed chat to prove top? No, I'm about to start, mate. Mikey, I've asked AI to make you a pink Ava Cattiad VTuber avatar. I'll post it on Discord when it's done. Great, thanks, Organ. I was waiting for you to somehow pivot this into a plug for the Outpost. Well, you know, I couldn't quite fit it in. But you know what isn't AI? The Outpost.co.uk. Exclamation point shop in chat. Would really appreciate if you have a look. Okay. I would really appreciate if you go and have a look at the Outpost.uk because you can get all of your pre-orders for 20% off. You can get all other products at 15% off. All you have to do is go to exclamation point the Outpost in chat. There's also a link in my Discord because maybe you want to pre-order some Space Wolves this weekend and you want to help me. Okay. If you would like to order some Space Wolves and you want to help the channel, you can go to pre-orders and it will pop up in this area. Okay. They do 20% off all pre-orders no matter what. I know some companies don't. It's surprising that not all companies do 20% off pre-orders, but guess what these guys do? Okay. These guys sure do. All right. And what's cool about it is every time you buy something, I get a kickback, which is very sick. You know, dumpstered the prices? The Outpost. Hell yeah! Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. You can also pre-order Infinity. You can pre-order Old World. You can pre-order 40k. Now, all of these are out of stock. I won't lie. But they'll get more in, you know. You just got to be there at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock if you want to pre-order the new stuff. But if there's anything else, you can just go to Games Workshop. Let's say we want to start that 1,000 Suns army, you know, Army of Chaos, 1,000 Suns. Let's see what else they've got in stock. They've got the Combat Patrol on. We've got 2 Combat Patrols. We've got loads of cards. They've got some Exalted Sorcerers in stock. They get delivered today. The old Combat Patrol. Yo, is it actually any good? Actually, that's a pretty beast Combat Patrol. That's actually a pretty beast Combat Patrol. That won't be getting restocked, so grab it today, chap. Grab it today, because you're going to have to deal with this one afterwards. And you're going to have to do... I mean, that's also a fucking 6 Zango. Oh, no, it's 3 Zango and a Shaman. Yeah, that was not quite as good. Yo, Mikey. Mikey's mum, how's the night of clustering 30-odd years ago? Bro, don't talk about my mum like that. I talked about a hypothetical woman who got dumpstered that night. God, Outpost are going to be like, what the fuck have you been saying during the ad, bro? Everyone trying to use code the dumpstered. Why is everyone trying to use the word dumpstered as a coupon? Anyway, right, okay. That looks like deck null. That looks like deck null. That's not even me. That's deck null. Deck's in a meeting. He can't even see it. It doesn't even look like me. It doesn't even look like me, bro. You burned a bottle of water to make a picture that looks like Deck? Bro. Bro. What's going on? What's going on, bro? Blame AI took a screenshot of your stream. Is that what people see me as? Is that what people see me as? It's got the eyes pretty bang on, to be fair. Slightly lopsided. Lopsided enough that you can kind of see it once you notice it. Needs a scruffy beard, bro. What do you mean? I just like, I shave it into a point. Like this. Makes my chin look longer. Is this what you see me as? Do I look like this? I'll be honest. Be honest. Out of 10, who would you fuck more? Me or this guy? AI speak. AI keep looking very smooth. Yeah, once he uses his fucking facial routine, bro, it's nice. You'd fuck the robot. Right, okay. Nice. Great. Well, not both. Out of 10. If you're both 9, that's fine. Out of 10, which one would you fuck? Dear. Yeah, I'd fuck the robot. I'd get AI to fuck it for me. Fucking don't tell Stephen Box or using AI in our Discord. He'll be straight in trying to sell us a pyramid scheme about using AI. The best way I become a sportsman is by using ChatGPT to come up with a response every time I need an answer. Anyway, chat. You know what you might need AI for? You know what you might want AI for in this day and age? It's for handling your pre-order via the Outpost. Okay? Via the Outpost. But there's an article by the Wargamer yesterday, wargaming.com. Warhammer 40k fans worry GW's new chapter approved pack will sell out instantly. And I agree. You know, I think this weekend is going to be an issue if you play competitive 40k. Is it wise for games to take a key part of Warhammer 40,000 most popular game format to a product that may struggle to stock? Now, you might remember last year that we had Pariah Nexus, you know. Or you suggest we use bot to order the new mission pack. It's the fucking as close as you might need it. It's like, you might need it, bro. My local store got allocated 15, could easily have sold 40 plus just to local players. The 15's rough. So, well, Tim, we love Tim. It says, on Monday, Games Workshop reveal the contents of the latest chapter of mission pack, providing new default missions that will feature an organised player in most pickup games. Fans in r/Warhammer competitive subreddit have raised concerns that the stock level they're seeing coming to their local game stores simply won't be enough to meet demand. Warhammer 40k fans on fire with Warhammer 40k. Isn't news in itself, but this time we think it's worth reflecting on. If you want to play competitive games, you need access to a copy of the latest chapter approved mission pack. Is that the right way to design the game? Last year, Pariah Nexus chapter approved mission cards did suffer from stock shortages. They weren't so terrible that they drove the scene to a grand halt, and it's perfectly possible that GW has done a better job predicting how much stock it needs this time around. Still, the fans in Warhammer Competitive who are worried about this have reasonable grounds to be cautious. Now, I personally think that the reason that the game didn't grind to a halt is because they're all being carried by tabletop battles. You know? The reason that Pariah Nexus stock shortages didn't kill the game is because most people use tabletop battles at this point, you know? And the thing is with it is like, that's just like a fan-made app, essentially. I mean, fan-made, you know. I mean, Goonhammer are a little bit more than fans at this point. But without tabletop battles, most people would just struggle to play the game at all. Because obviously, the nice thing is it emulates a deck, so you can randomize it fine. They also does all the scoring for you. It tells you how to score each card when you pick, draw them, etc. And it's like, why is Games Workshop not making a, like, as part of the 40k app, why are they not making a scoring app as well? Buy a digital version. Again, we're going to go through the same thing. Just sell me a digital one. You can make unlimited money with it. And then it unlocks a scoring system in the app. It's Tabletop Battles AI going to play the game for me. Brilliant. Games Workshop have been ramping up production and trying to improve forecasts for the missions that company made before 40k releases. We haven't seen any massive day zero sellouts for new models in a couple of years. Which I rightfully was corrected when I was like, yeah, that's true. And Tim needs to be corrected. Because this isn't true. Because do you remember when fucking Lucius came out? I can't even buy Lucius right now. Can you even buy Lucius in the Lord Cacophonist right now? I don't think you can. Bro, he came out like a month ago. He's still out of stock. Let's just look at Emperor's Children. I'll just do it this way. Although I'm typing it in. Armies of Chaos. Emperor's Children. You can get Fulgrim and the Codex. You can get Flawless Blades. And then that's it. Lord Cacophonist are $109 on eBay because of the demand and shortage. Yo, chat, I'm selling a Lord Cacophonist. Chat, I'm selling a Lord Cacophonist, no problem. No, bro, don't even think about it. Don't even worry about it, bro. I don't want to buy a Lord Cacophonist, very good deal, $108. Mine is still in box. What am I doing? No wonder people are worried. No wonder people are worried. You can't even buy the models to play the game that your deck you can't buy. Lord out of stock. That's so good. Lord out of stockinist. Oh, that's brilliant, Pepcar. That's brilliant, dude. Great job. Lucius, the not so eternal because he's always out of stock. He's not quite got the same ring to it. Whereas Gino can't distribute his models digitally, at least not its current scale, quality, standard, and profit margin, likely for a chapter approved cards. This is the thing, it could just buy Tabletop Battles at this point. It'll go shit. It'll go shit, but it'll at least Games Workshop can own it and they can sell it. Lucius the eternally out of stock. They're so good. They're so. Can I do it? Can I update it? He's so childish, but I just want to see what it looks like. It's a link. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can't. Oh, I can. And then Lord, what do we call it? Out of stockinist. Oh, no! I ruined it. Anyway, you saw it for a second. You saw it for a second, chat. I love editing websites. It's so funny. Ask AI, stop it. Bam. And then Lord. Out of stock. I keep putting spaces. Stock honest. Out of stock owners. What am I doing? Guys, this is not funny anymore, Mikey. You're taking way too long. Bam! Bam! I should have got AI to do it. AI would have been quicker, don't you think? Should I send this? Should I send this image to Tim, who wrote the article? Should I ask Tim? I should send it to Tim and be like, bro. Tim! Look at this! I'm not gonna, that'd be mean. That would be mean. That would be mean. I don't know him that well. I don't know Tim that well. Like, I'm not that good friends with him, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know him. I'll talk to him, have a good time with him. I don't know if he realised I'm just taking the piss. This brings us back to the perennial question of whether or not 1.4K rules should be free. Should rules primarily be a product that GW sells or a marketing expense used to encourage people to buy more toy soldiers? As products, chapter-approved cards and decks, and codex releases are high spec enough that you can see where your money goes, but they throw a barrier of cost, and in this case, a question of stock availability. I think the question of cost is a bit like... Now, on one hand, I do think Games Workshop should release their rules for free. Why would I ever be against that? That'd be silly. But I do think, like, as a cost, I don't think chapter approved is that expensive, you know? They're like, what, 20 quid a deck? You're going to use it for a year? You're going to use it, on average, the normal person who's invested in 40k once a week, 52 times before it's out of date. You know? You do the maths. It's not, I don't think it's that expensive as a product. If you go to tournaments, suddenly it's actually like, it's like, where it makes its money back in terms of like the amount you're going to use it. But the problem is sometimes you just can't buy it, you know. So the problem is you just can't fucking buy it when it's out of stock, which is just stupid. It's such a stupid problem to have. Now, I don't disagree. When you buy a model, it's annoying that you got to buy a model, and then you got to buy a book, and then you got to put the book into the app, and then you got to update the app for you to have the rules. That is stupid. That is way too many steps. Yeah, we should just have free rules. I agree. Wait, do you need to buy the cards regularly? Once a year, bud. Once a year. Now, I don't disagree. A lot of other games have their rules for free. Totally agree. Totally agree. I don't think rules should be like paywalled. I think we should have books that you can buy. I think you should have rules that are free. You know? But in terms of like a cost for the deck, I don't think that one in particular is very expensive. And if you want a physical deck, you can buy one. If you should be able to be like get a digital one for now. You know what I mean? From all I understand of book printing, they can't be making that much money on books. The thing is with it is the way that Games Workshop is structured. They have a book department, right? You know, they have a book department, and that book department has to be profitable. Because that's kind of how like these big companies work. I don't think a lot of people realize is a lot of the time it's just they have a department that does a thing. They have a hobby department, they have a book department, they have a model department, and they have a rules department. You know, they don't make much money, but it is profitable because they sell loads. Infinity has a 200-page free army builder app that has most of the rules. Essentially, sets come with cards for all the units in the box for new players to make it easier. Yeah, I don't disagree that Games Workshop could do a lot more, but they are the big bull in the room, and they just don't. Honestly, they just don't feel like they need to. Bro, I can't even get a fucking text back. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be part of their marketing. I can't even get a text back. It's fucking stupid. He's on the grey list. I am. I don't know what fucking list I'm on anymore. He should put all the rules on the app and I have to pay £10 to access the rules. Yeah, literally. Like, people would literally just fucking... They're chomping at the bit to give Games Workshop money and they're just making it difficult. Mikey's being ghosted. I am. I literally am. Literally am. I thought everything was sorted and now I'm being ghosted again. You know, it's alright, and it's not like I get the most views out of most channels on the platform that making Warhammer content. Just don't even fucking worry about it, bro. Don't even worry about it. No, I won't talk about leaked codexes. It's fine, bro. I'll sit here and talk about chapter approved that everyone else has already got. That's fine. Let's not just fucking go on Reddit and make unlimited money by talking about rules. You're going anywhere near Warhammer on Friday? Afraid not, bud. Just get on its wargamer for 40k. They're dry. You know what I mean? It's like fucking try and live long enough to be a hero. You eventually become a villain. That's me. That's me. I'm slowly becoming the villain. I'm being driven to. I'm like Harvey Dent. I'm being driven to corruption. I don't want to be, but I'm being forced to it because it's the only way. Anyway, oh my god, did Joe not invite you? I don't know who Joe is. Who's Joe? Villain now at best, an undervalued henchman. Joe Workshop. Yeah, Joe Workshop said nothing. Oh, what's Joe not inviting me to? Should I text him about it? Probably relegated to the bench if you are being excluded from the definitely not Horus Heresy event on Friday. Yeah, probably them. There's a Horus Heresy preview on Friday. And is there an event? I presume there's an event there. I had no idea. You remember when I painted for Games Workshop for the Horus Heresy event? Bro. Bro. Whose wheat did you piss in? Literally nobody's. I enjoyed your Heresy 2.0 content. Yeah, me too. Mikey finds out in real time. This is going to get clipped. Mikey finds out in real time. He's also not been invited to something else. Have you done a mini? No, I've done fuck all. That's the problem. I've done nothing. I'm just fucking getting left by the wayside for some reason. Even though for like Emperor's Children release, I got the most views out of anyone. Just want to point that out there. Just putting that out there into the world. More than play on tabletop, more than tabletop tactics, more than most of the channels combined. Just saying. Don't even answer my call. Someone bitching? Are you joking? You've just told me a channel that says that the rules writers should have their heads on spikes is getting invited. You know? Just saying. I'm bitching. Fucking, oh well. Anyway. Can we go to get a census moment where we can see frame by frame to see when your heart breaks? Yeah, literally. It seems like a sad moment. Yeah, it's just really derailed it, chat. Sorry for who started derailing it. Hungry Bear, you derailed the stream, I'm afraid. They were really happy with the fact that I used the Emperor's Children box to make more. Dan is my old friend. Yeah, I can't get a call back, but don't worry. Call everybody else. It's fine, mate. It's fine. Oh, well. Anyway, chat, I'm going to bitch and moan about the deck I don't have either for some reason. I'm going to bitch and moan about the deck I don't have for some reason. Anyway. I think Games Workshop trying to charge for decks is fine. I just wish they would just fucking make more, because they just can't keep anything in stock. It's so dumb. It's honestly just so fucking stupid. I hurt myself today. Games Workshop doesn't want to listen to what I have to say. How long does it take to get out of stock stuff? Fucking how long's a piece of string, bro? How long's a piece of string? You know what I mean? When did Lucius and the fucking all that shit come out? What, 2 months ago? March, April time, was it? I made this video on day of release. That was 12th of April. So that's when Lucius and stuff came out, because I made the Flawless Blade conversion. That was the 12th of April. That's 55,000 views, by the way, Games Workshop. Just want to say. Just want to say, just as I mentioned. That one has 100,000. Just saying. That one has 30,000. Just saying. You know what I mean? That's 200,000 views on your product for free. That's all right, mate. Don't call me back. Anyway, chats are approved. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I'm going to be running a asymmetric tournament, a 1 day, which will be fun. I want to run a 1 day asymmetric tournament because I'm interested to see how that works as like as a format. I think it might be quite fun if people are ready for asymmetric events. As a 1 day, it might be fun. But I'm also excited to try out the new mission deck because I think the mission deck currently is a little stale. I think the current mission deck got stale because I think the problem is a lot of the cards. I was talking on Discord yesterday, especially Discord in chat. We're in voice chat. And I think, like, out of the 18 cards, only 6 of them were actually new. You know? Only 6 of the cards were actually new in this deck compared to last year. So we've basically been playing the same 12 cards for 2 years. Mixed in with Mark for Death and Call the Horde. As a noob, could you explain what an asymmetric tournament is? So as part of the new chapter approved, there are 3 modes to play the deck, right? There's 1,000 points. There's 2,000 points, which are very similar to what, probably going to be very similar to what you expect we have already. And then asymmetric is kind of like, for lack of a better term, like a narrative version of balanced matched play, where you both have the same amount of points. You both have like balanced armies, but the missions are like completely wild. Like the one we saw on Monday that they showed off for an article, is that they had like a deployment which is kind of like a V shape on one side, and that was the defender. Then the attacker was coming from the other end, which is a different deployment. And the defender starts with 50 victory points. And then each time the attacker grabs an objective, they like siphon points from them, so they steal points away. So it's kind of like a bit more like an interesting narrative-based match play. I think is probably the best way to describe it. It's like narrative-esque, narrative vibes, but a match play mission. I think if the asymmetric missions actually balanced and interesting, you might see them in real tournaments. I don't think you will, purely because they've clearly said that that's not the case. They've clearly said that's not really the case, to be honest. But they've said that, like, the Strike Force and Incursion is for match play. The only problem I'm going to have is like how to do the terrain for it, which I might have to do like player placed or just say randomly roll a terrain set, randomly roll a deployment and use that one. But I just don't know if it'll work very well. That's kind of my concern is like terrain, because you kind of want, even if you're playing an asymmetric mission with like random deployments and weird primary missions, you still want a good terrain set to play on. So I'm a bit concerned about how you can make it balanced, you know what I mean? Deployment maps, yeah, but obviously the deployments are all different. They're all completely custom, and I don't really want to draw 35 maps. You know? I don't really want to draw 35 maps for a tournament. Oh no, it won't be 35. It'll be 15. Get AI to draw them for you. Fucking brilliant. You just need 3 maps. Shadow Sun, I use 5 sets of terrain, bro. So as soon as you say you need 1 for 1 mission, I actually need 5. You said the tables will be advanced. Each table is a fixed mission. Yeah, but then what about round 2? What about round 2, Joe? Also, Joe, everyone made me sad because you're going to Warhammer on Friday. There was a good 15-minute discussion. You might have missed it. Everybody's going to Warhammer on Friday. I've not been invited. Very funny. Very epic. Just move the different tables. Oh, I get you. I get you. Each table is a different mission. Each table's a different mission. And then you just move people around. So depending on what table you land on, you play on that. Okay, that makes more sense. Come along, we touch tips. I got better things to do. I'm washing my hair. I'm actually washing my hair that night, so... I'm trimming my beard, yeah. I'm practicing my VTuber model, actually. I'm working with my VTuber model on Friday. We've got a meeting Friday night, so... Yeah, I'm busy that day. Sorry. We're doing it in the day. Sure. What are you doing in the day? I've got no idea. I'm gonna meet my VTuber model during the day as well. Yeah. I've got stuff to do. I got stuff to do, bro. Washing his hair, going for sitting in the shower clothed. Yeah. Shower clothed, crying. Screaming, crying, throwing up. Oh, fucking hell. Just fucking shoot me, bro. Honestly. Just shoot me, bro. Anyway, chat. Fucking fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it, we ball. Right, let's do 1,000 Tsons Tierlist with a fucking book I don't own. Right, what are we missing on here? We need Skyfires, Sekatar. Sorcerer. I got Sorcerer there. Who cares? Hate Warhammer anyway. Yeah, literally, that's literally me right now. That's literally me right now, bro. Honestly. You don't know Exalted on disc. Skyfire's Exalted on disc is what I need. And Sekatar. Do we have utility Vortex Beast on here? Where the... Oh, it's there. Ignore me. What was the other one? Exalted on disc. Sekatar robots. I think that's it. Pictures, screenshots. There we go. Chat, is there anything else missing from this tier list? There a demon print on foot. Fucking hell. Has anyone made a tier list before? Oh, shit, leaking all my screenshots. Oh, I need a fucking... I've fucking uploaded that one. I need one on foot, dickhead. I need one on foot. Absolute twat. What a nonce. Right, I think... The other Predator, which one we got? Oh, yeah. We need the autocannon, right? That's Lars. We need auto. I'll borrow this one off Reddit. Thanks, Reddit.
Mikey! Super chat £5. Sorry to hear of your GW.
Thanks.
I feel bad for all sending Stu Black that AI video of you telling him he can puff on your fat one now.
Thanks for the 5, dude. Really appreciate it. Thanks, bud. Thanks. Iron and Foot, not a thing anymore. Are doing demons as well? I don't normally do demons as well. Oh, I'm being an idiot. We got the maulers on here. Beans together. Vortex Beast is near the end, I know that much. The demons all stink anyway. Yeah. The removing of armor on foot generally boggles me. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Someone literally asked me though, how do you put armor on foot though? Because there's only one base. And I was just like, what do you mean? You just stick him to the base. I literally had someone ask me that. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? But Eldrake and S tier? Yeah, I'll do it. I think that's everything. I can't be housing demons. Demons aren't real army. I think that's everything. I think that's everything. Right, I just need to remember what my tiers are, that's all. Chat, look at this while I look for it. Not this. I don't even want to want. Why do I keep clicking that? Are there not specific Thousand Suns Terminators? Yeah, Scarabs. Scrabsborough. Let me find my tier names again. Okay, we got S, nerf me. I always forget, I really need to write them down. Why is it not going underneath? What? What? What's happening? Snurf me. Why is it not fucking returning, bro? What's happened to the formatting? What is going on? What Zeet's trickery is this? Right, okay. We'll have to do that then. Right, okay. Strong. No, it's fine. God damn it. B. Decent. I've had to wipe everything in this fucking thing. Is there some fucking text format? Ah! It won't go to the middle! Right, okay, do it the old-fashioned way. C, situational. And then D, trash. And I could solve this. Fuck yourself. How about that? We got my iPad, and then we can do the book. We can do the book so you can review. Give me a moment while I just quickly sort this out. We are considering the asymmetric games for local league and having both players play the game twice but swapping attack and defender. That's smart. I like that. I like the idea of that. That's a good way to do it, I think. Because you kind of get rid of any of the issues of like skewed missions. But until we've seen them, we don't really know. Because they might actually all work fine. Not that one. There it is. That sounds like a nice format for a tourney. Yeah, but you play 2 rounds and then that's the end of the day. 1,000 points best of 3 could work. 1,000 points best of 3 could work, but the problem is with 40k, as soon as you want to do anything adventurous like that, it just takes too long. Too many hours are needed. Okay, chat. Are we ready for a tier list? Are we ready for a tier list? Could do 1,000 point 6 round where you play 3 opponents twice. Yeah, you could maybe get away with doing that in a day. How long would a 1,000 point game take? An hour and a half? Like an hour and a half, maybe? Yeah, it could work. It'd be a very long day. 6 games is a lot. Well, you get loads of draws though, wouldn't you? Let's say the mission's really skewed. Wouldn't you just get loads of draws? Yo, chat, the time is about to run out. Got like a minute. Alright, Nerd, I'm back. What did I miss? You missed quite a lot, actually. We had a Hello Darkness moment. A Hello Darkness moment, which is very fun. It's very cool. What else did we have? You got generated by AI. What else do we have? No, that was it. That was two biggies. Quite a lot of the show was me crying, screaming, crying, throwing up. Crying in the shower. Brennan! Thanks for the gifted, dude. Really appreciate it. What a legend. Be like Brennan and gift a membership today. Andy Allen, make sure you join our Discord. You get full access now, my friend. You get full access now, bro. Also, speaking of competitive 40k, before we get into the tier list, if you are local to Sheffield, I do run a competitive club every Thursday. Every Thursday evening at the Outpost, I run a competitive game night. If you'd like to tune in. If you'd like to hang out, if you're local or nearby, come along. We got a good bunch. We had I think we had like 15 people, 16 people last week, which is pretty cool for a competitive club. It was only our second one last week as well. I think this week is probably going to be a bit quieter because most people are anticipating the new mission pack, which is, you know, fair enough. But when the new mission pack comes out, I think it's going to be like pretty wild. It's going to be pretty wild. So yeah, we had like, it was pretty cool because we had like 6 and then we had like 16 the week after. So it like more than doubled in size. But that happens every Thursday. I have a picture about it somewhere. Let me have a look. Basically, it's kind of like a 40k. Here it is. It's a Hellstorm tournament, 1 round every Thursday night. It's pretty cool, actually. Pretty fun because I get to play games as well, which is nice. I bet no one has ever said I wish I lived closer to Sheffield. Bro, Sheffield's beautiful. Beautiful city. I saw it! Saw that! But yeah, if you are local to Sheffield, you can get there for a Thursday night or in the area. Come along. Come along, it should be fun. It was a good time. It was a good time. Right, okay. Chat, here's a brand new codex. Or it would be if Games Workshop would send me one. But the brand new Codex Thousand Suns is on pre-order right now. You can grab it using my link in the description. But also, there's a lot of units in here and a hell of a lot of changes. And there's only one way we can objectively tell you what are the best units in the book. And that's with the most original content on platform. It's a tier list, baby. So today we're going to be ranking the Thousand Suns units for the following tiers. We've got S, nerf me, basically in every list, by 3. We've got A, strong, by a couple, probably pretty good. B, it's alright, you're not going to do bad with 1. C, super situational. And D, trash. So let's get straight back into it. Thoughts on Tsons getting the second phase back? Don't forget I have a Codex review. I think it's really cool. Blue iPad kindly provided by Mikey. Have you set up this tier list properly? What do you mean properly? What do you mean properly? I like the fact that Thousand Suns have a psychic phase. It's just funny that the reason they got rid of the psychic phase is because, in their words, it wasn't very interactive. And then they brought it back. Can't we just react to another person's video that watches the Tsons tier list? What? Watch someone watching someone doing a tier list. What? Doing a tier list. Well, usually when we do tier lists, you have a 30-minute setup phase. Yeah, you literally arrive when I was finished. Okay, I have all of the units ready. I also have all of the points. I'll be telling you how many points each unit's going to cost. As it stands right now, these are the points that are going to be public, but they might change between the time this video is filmed and the time that the points are published online. So they might differ slightly, but Games Workshop did send me the Minotaur and Field Manual with these points in there. So without further ado, let's start ranking some units. Starting off with the man, the myth, the legend, it's Magnus the Red, who is going to start you out at 420 points. The most expensive unit in the book. One of the most expensive units in the army, without including Forge Worlds. One of the most expensive units in the game, without including Forge World. Magnus the Red is mostly the same to his old form in the index. However, instead of giving the army +1 to hit and win with psychic weapons within 6, he now gets +2 to cast on psychic rituals, which obviously the rituals, as I spoke about in my Codex review, they're essentially psychic tests for 4 or 5 abilities being available, such as reroll hits, move d6 or 6, move, give an additional AP, give additional AP2, etc. Do Doombolt, etc. So, where will Magnus the Blaze it come on our tier list? I think Magnus is really good. I think, like I said in my Codex review, I think that the fact that out of the 4 Primarchs, 2 of them feel playable, and it's Magnus and Mortarion, you know? The old Smash Bros, you could say. That's what you used to call them. I used to run them together. You used to call it Smash Brothers. I think Magnus is really good. Really, really good. And I think most lists will start with Magnus because he's got a really good shooting profile. He's very consistent at getting the psychic powers off. I think there's like a maths chart out on Reddit somewhere that's like Magnus 3d6. Pretty much cast anything. It's like 870, 80, you know? He's really, really good. He's obviously a lot worse than he was in the index. Like, obviously, I'm going to say you can't double his move. You can't make him move 32 inches a turn or something. You can't give him reroll saves. And the reroll wins is more expensive. But in the context of the Codex, he's very, very good. I think if you look at everything as in looking at the index, then yeah, everything's just going to be like trash. But in the context of the Codex, I think Magnus is a very, very strong unit. He's just not like absolutely nutty anymore. He's just not nutty anymore. I don't know if Magnus is S tier just because he's quite the points investment, and if you play him wrong, he will die. He will just die, which will be very cringe. So I'm going to put Magnus in A tier. He's going to stay at the top of A tier. He might move to S to balance out the goats. We'll see. But I think Magnus is a very strong unit. His ability to give -1 damage makes him a lot harder to kill. He's very consistent in combat. His sweeps are really good. The fact that everything has a psychic keyword synergizes with the Codex and the abilities really, really well in every single detachment. There's like no downside to him really. But he can die, which is a bit cringe. But you can make him -1 damage. You can give out hazardous, which is kind of funky. And then obviously he has time flux of +2 move, which is obviously pretty good because a lot of the Thousand Suns did get a little bit faster, but he just makes the army even more consistent. +2 move with pocket temporal surge makes the army extremely quick. Bearing in mind you can give the unit +2 move by moving within 6. You can advance the unit, and then you can temporal surge a potential another 6 as well. Thousand Suns can be, or at least a unit in the Thousand Suns army can be very, very quick. You think about there's that strat in the Rubricae Phalanx that can give a Rubricae unit assault. They can be moving like 18 inches and still shooting. Which is pretty good. It is pretty good, to be fair. You know, they can't charge, but they can shoot like, you know, 18-inch flamers. Or move 18-inch, then shoot flamers, for example. He's just a great unit. He's a bit of a point sink. I think 420 is a little bit high. I think when I was reviewing the book a lot, I kept thinking the points were high. Then you play them on the table, and they've just got so many tricks in their pocket that's just handy to have. I just think you don't need him, but I think most lists start with Magnus. I think most lists are 1600 points because they've got Magnus in the list. So I like Magnus. I think he's really good. I think he's really, really good. I don't know if he needs nerfing. I think if he went up in points, he'd drop a tier. I think if his abilities got nerfed, he'd drop a tier. I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty comfortable where he is. You know, he's just a very, very good character. Next up, we've got Ahriman. Full stop, not on disc because he doesn't come on a disc. He can't choose not to come on a disc. Sorry, he's 100 points now. Our old Ahriman. He's, as I said, he's on a disc. He's not like you can't choose not to put him on a disc, which means you can move 10. You can attach to rubrics in Tzaangor Enlightened. Obviously, Tzaangor Enlightened are a very interesting unit in this book now. And he's also infantry mounted, which is quite fun. Which means he can. I don't know why. I mean, he's mounted because he is mounted, but he also still infantry, which means he can go through walls and he can get in rhinos. Which is nice that he's got both keywords rather than just mounted, which can make him a lot harder to play, that's for sure. For example, the Tzaangor Enlightened are also on discs. They don't have infantry. They have mounted only. So it's like the characters that are on discs, they've given them the infantry keyword in addition, which means they're susceptible to anti-infantry, but it also means they can get in rhinos and go through walls with the rest of the unit, which is kind of nice. So Ahriman's ability, he gets +1 to rituals, which is pretty good. We like +1 to rituals. It's not a bad ability. His other ability, Scryer of Fates. If your army is included this model, at both players to deploy their army, you can select up to 3,000 Suns units and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set those units up in strategic reserve, regardless of how many you've already got in reserve. So he's essentially a redeploy character, you know? He doesn't have any abilities that buff the unit he's attached to, but he does have a very strong redeploy 3 units and put them in strat reserve. He's decent in shooting, D6 plus 1, strength 6 minus 1, D3 damage. He's very good in combat. He's only got lack of AP, but obviously, whenever you look at something with lack of AP, you can actually improve that using the rituals. You can give it additional AP or additional AP2. At 100 points, he's okay. He's okay. I think the thing is with Ahriman is, like, when I think of like an epic hero, like a named character, I think of a buff piece. I think of a guy who buffs the unit around him to be crazy. You think of things like Drago, Marnius Calgar, stuff like that. You think like these named characters, they buff the unit there. No, I know this isn't like every unit, every named character ever, but in my head, a named character should be like a very good, interesting piece that like buffs your army throughout the game. Whereas it feels like Ahriman does his little trick at the start of redeploying, which is good, and then that's it. He's all right in combat. He's all right at shooting. I mean, he's good in combat. He's good at shooting. But then he doesn't do anything after that. So it feels like you're paying a lot of the 100 points you're paying is actually just to redeploy 3 units. You know, that's the points you're paying, really. So I think Ahriman is he's decent. He's decent. You could run him solo. That is Ahriman in lore. Ignore team and do everything himself. Very true. You could run him solo. I think he's pretty good in most lists. Having the redeploy, especially with Rubricai Phalanx, where you can infiltrate stuff, especially with Secretary robots, where you can redeploy those. I think having redeploy is really good, but I think people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to take him with like loads of enlightened and stuff, or I'm going to take him in a rubric squad. It's just like, you don't really need to. You don't really need to. You can run him just on his own. He could just stay at home and hold the home objective and defend himself pretty well because he's got 4-pin board, he's decent in combat. He's OC2 as well, which is nice, which most characters that sit at home are OC1. He can go and do actions. Obviously, we've got a new mission pack on the way, but currently he can play containment pretty well. He can do area denial pretty nice for you. And because he's on that disc, again, you could be advancing him a potential 6 and moving him an additional 6 with the spell. So he's moving potentially 22 inches to get like engage, storm hostile, etc. How much you pay for redeploy as an enhancement? Probably 30 points. Probably 30-ish points. And then you look at Ahriman. Outside of that is a 70 point plus 1 to cast. Does he provide the plus 1 to ritual without an aura, just like map wide essentially? No, whenever he makes the cast, he gets plus 1. So for one spell a turn, he gets plus 1. Because he can only cast 1 as well. If it was like Magnus can cast 2, and gets plus 2, Ahriman gets just plus 1. If it was like cast 2 with plus 1, I think that'd be a little bit interesting. But I don't like rate that ability, to be honest. I don't think it's like, I'm not writing home about it. I'm not writing home about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's only when he casts, yeah. Whereas the things like the Vortex Beast is when you channel, when you roll the additional D6 with the Vortex Beast within 6, you get plus 1. So you kind of mitigate Ahriman's ability a lot. Yeah, the ability is not that great. But he is only 100 points, which is quite decent. If he's any more, it'd be situational. If he was even more than that, it'd be trash. His ability is fine. It's alright. Okay, next up, the Infernal Master. The old Infernal. Where's he gone? The Infernal Master coming in at 85 points. Where is he? He's there, look. I'm going to drop in there for now so we can see him. Now, the Infernal Master gives a unit sustained hits. That's a really nice ability. It's a psychic ability. He also has the once per turn, changes a hit roll, wound roll, or saving throw to an unmodified 6. And obviously it's once per turn, so in your turn you can go max damage, and in your opponent's turn you can go max defense and get auto, especially because he has an invuln, he's usually attached, well, he will be attached if you take him with rubrics to another unit with an invuln. So you can basically, it's like almost like a free blanket damage because you just auto pass an invuln, you know, which is pretty nice. He's got a decent psychic weapon at 18 inches, strength 6, -2, 1 damage. It's D6 or 2D6 if you overcharge it, which is nice. And he's obviously got the force weapon. Force weapons in this book are pretty much 6 -1 D3 damage. The psychic gun is very good at D6, 2D6, which is nice at 18 inches. And like, as I said, he's 85 points and he's buffing the unit he's in with sustained. Now, he obviously doesn't trigger sustained himself unless he's in combat. But having sustained in combat is pretty good. I think Infernal Master is pretty much a mainstay in most lists. Again, you don't need him. But I think he's a mainstay. I think he's up here, right? I think he's up here. If you're taking a squad of rubrics, if you're going to attach a character to them, it is probably the Infernal Master. Which is pretty funny. Because like a lot of the sorcerer options in this get looked past, I think. But I think the Infernal Master, if you're going to choose a unit, a character to attach to a rubric squad, it's probably the Infernal Master a lot of the time. For 85 points, he's not that expensive. You know, he's only got 4 wounds, which is a bit of a shame. You'd hope for like a 5. Like a lot of Space Marine characters have like 5 or 6, where the Infernal Masters and the Sorcerers in this only have 4. But Sustain 1 on Soul Reapers is good. He's just a solid unit. He's very good. Most lists will have an Infernal Master, I think. If you're taking a squad of rubrics, you probably attach an Infernal Master, and he's a good model for a lot of the enhancements. Obviously, he can't double Doom Bolt, which is a bit annoying. With the Grand Coven Incandium, which is double Doom Bolt once per battle. That is exalted only. But he's alright. He's good. He's Sustain 1. Okay, a Sorcerer next. So this is just a base Sorcerer that attaches to rubrics at 75 points. Now, base Sorcerer, very similar, gives out lethal hits. Doesn't give out sustain, gives out lethal instead. So these are your access to sustain and lethal on your rubric squads. He's got the Pandemonic Delusion, which is sustain hits 3, 6 shots, strength 5, -1, 1 damage shooting. And then obviously he's got a force weapon or the Prospering Kopesh in combat, depending which weapon you give him. Probably most of the time you're going to be giving him the force weapon. The downside of the force weapon is lack of AP, but as we've spoken about, if you need an AP in a particular instance, you can give that out to a single unit. He does have once per battle in your shooting phase or fight phase, you can use this ability, improve the strength and attacks of psychic weapons by 3. So you can use you can get his force weapon up to 7 attacks at strength 9, or you can get his shooting weapon to strength 8. Okay. Fine. What's he equipped with? Pandemonic Delusion and the force weapon. Does that mean? So he's alright. Lethal's good. We like lethal. This is what you use it for Chaos Sorcerer, because in this book it's just an Exalted Sorcerer on the picture. I think he's decent. Sorcerer's fine. Again, good bait for an enhancement. I think that's what drops Araman as well. He is good, but without the enhancement, it's a bit annoying. Without being able to give him an enhancement, sorry. A Kopesh. It's the same, isn't it? It's Kopesh. So yeah, he's decent. I think Araman's problem is the fact that you can't give him an enhancement and his ability to start the game, which is a bit annoying. Whereas like Sorcerers, Infernal Masters and stuff, they have the enhancement ability. They can take one. So you can make them a little bit better. You can make them more buff characters throughout the game, which is nice. I desperately need to open my window. It's so hot in here. It's hot thinking about this dust. Solid L tier pronunciation. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Yeah, so I like the characters. I think we've got a few more characters to go through. I think some of these are a little bit better. Next up, we got the Exalted Sorcerer. The Exalted Sorcerer. This is the one on foot. Okay. Similar combat weapons. A lot of the combat weapons are basically the same. We're just going to bring him up here so we know who he is. A lot of the combat weapons are very much the same. He's got Astral Blast, Strength 6, -2, D3 damage, which is a very nice shooting weapon. Blast with Devastating Wounds, which is cool. It's D6 shots at 18 inches, so you can keep him out of harm's way. Pretty nice. You know, and also 18 inches with the double move, with the triple move. That's a 36-inch potential threat range on a single unit for a decent shooting weapon. It's quite nice. You know, like we saw with with my game with Elliot, with the Exalted on disc, the fact that you can advance and then Temporal Surge and sometimes still shoot is pretty nice. It's pretty scary. He gives Arcane Shield, so he gives the unit he's attached to a 4+ in 1, which is obviously going to be Rubric Marines. And then in your command phase, he can rebind the Rubrici, and he can roll a d6. On a 1, you're going to take d3 mortal wounds. On a 2 to 5, you're going to return 1 bodyguard. On a 6, you're going to return up to 2. This is pretty nice. This is a pretty nice ability. I'm going to say the Exalted Sorcerer is pretty situational, though. The reason being, okay, hear me out before you get mad. The Exalted Sorcerer, decent. He's got the 5 wounds, what he asked for. He's got a 4+ invuln, because the other guys are essentially like chaplains. Chaplain Librarian, this is your captain, you know. He's pretty situational. Reason being is he gives the unit a 4+ invuln, which is really good, but Rubrics already have a 5+, you know. Now, obviously, a 4+ is better mathematically than a 5+, but you already have an invuln. So it's only increasing the invuln by 1 rather than like a completely new ability. So when you already have an invuln, a 5+, a 4+ invuln isn't quite as valuable as something else brand new. Yeah, increasing it's great. A 4+ invuln is far superior to a 5+, but you're going from a third of the wounds ignored due to the invuln to half the wounds. So it's not quite as crazy as it could be. Now, the Rebind Rubrici is an alright ability. It can actually combo pretty well, because in Risen Rubrici, there's a stratagem called Revenge of the Rubrici. So your opponent's shooting phase, just after 1,000 Sun Psycho model of your army is destroyed, 1 Rubric unit that is within 6 of that Psycho model when it's destroyed, and that Rubrici unit can then shoot at the guy who killed it. What you can do is quite fun, is you can choose to kill your Aspiring Sorcerer out of the Rubric squad with this guy, and then use that stratagem to shoot back at the unit with your Rubric unit. And then in your next command phase, you can revive a bodyguard and put your Aspiring Sorcerer back in. Which is pretty good. Pretty good to me, especially because he's got 3 wounds. You can use him to tank wounds a little bit, and then you can bring him back. You can also channel with the Aspiring Sorcerer. Maybe take some wounds and then bring bodyguards back next turn, which is quite nice. So he's going to be able to, because you're going to be like taking mortal wounds from channeling to do the psychic rituals, but also you've got that little trick in that detachment specifically. But outside of that, I don't think reviving rubrics is that good. I don't think that's that good. I think, like I've put it, it's very situational. It's a very good ability. Both abilities are really good. You know, but as I said, if you've already got a 5+, a 4+, getting a 4+ isn't crazy. It goes from a third of the damage ignored to the half the damage, which is better, but it is a much smaller gap than just having a unit with no invuln, gain a 4+. And then reviving bodyguards. A lot of the time, people are just going to try and outright kill your rubrics. Now, obviously, I spoke about those 2 specific situations, but I think it's all right. It's something that's cool when it happens, but you shouldn't be banking on it. No, and the Exalted Sorcerer, which I forgot to mention the points, he's coming up at 80 points, so he's actually cheaper than Infernal Master, which is like pretty decent. It is pretty decent. The Spirit Snare, yeah, good point, Craig Kenny. There's an ability on the Demon Prince, which we'll get into. He's all right with that, because what you can do is you can kill the Psyker to give your Demon Prince plus to cast rituals and then revive the Psyker again, which is pretty good. It is pretty good, but again, it's very situational. You got to make sure your Demon Prince is nearby. You got to make sure you're actually be able to revive it. But he is only 80 points. Is he better with Flamer Rubrics where lethal sustain doesn't matter? That's probably going to be the best place for him, because he's going to be in more harm's way, so you need more protection on that unit. So an Exalted Sorcerer with Flamers isn't going to be terrible. I just think the other 2 are probably better. But again, the fact that he's only 80 points is making me want to put him in B tier, to be honest, rather than C tier. But I think most of the time you're going to take a different character. Especially because, like, the threat of it, the damage potential is very similar to the other two. So I think, yeah, there's lots of ways you can make him work. And I don't think putting him in C tier means he's typically bad as a unit. He's like top of C, bottom of B, yeah. Yeah. I don't think putting him in C tier makes him particularly bad, but a lot of his abilities are very situational, you know? Reviving relies on the unit surviving when it gets shot. You know? A lot of the time. But you have got a 4% ones who are more likely to survive, so his bodyguard ability can be really good. Bringing 2 is pretty good, so it makes you want to put him here. I'll put him in C for now. We might move in a bit. Next up, Exalted Sorcerer on disc. I'm just going to cut to the chase. There he goes, right into S tier. So he also has Arcane Fire. It's Arcane Fire, sorry, not Arcane Blast. This is a torrent weapon, so it auto hits with ignore cover, strength 6, mana 2, D3 at range 18. If you are hit by the Arcane Fire, you give ensnared, which is -2 move and charge rolls for a unit until your next turn, an enemy infantry unit, which is obviously pretty good. Because obviously his main ability is Illusion of Tzeentch while his model is leading the unit. You cannot be targeted by range attacks unless you're within 18. And for a measly 100 points, you can have one of the most broken units in the game. For a measly 100, you can have this guy attached to Rubrics, which is pretty good, or Zangors, which is really good. We'll get onto Zangors very soon, but this guy tied in with Zangors is crazy good in my opinion. You can still give him enhancement, so he can still be pretty fun. You can still do a lot of damage and stuff like that. But lone operative 18 in a unit, in an army that doesn't have many units, is going to be really helpful, especially when those units can shoot 30 inches with lethal and precision. You know, I know it's spoilers, but Zangors are a long way through this video. So that's the Exalted Sorcerer, definitely S tier at 100 points. Again, infantry mounted, so you can pop through walls, which is cool. It's just a great unit. Just S tier all day. Okay, next up we got the Demon Prince of Tzeentch, like we just mentioned. This is the one on foot. He's got the Dark Blessing, which is sustained 1, 9 attacks, strength 4, -1 damage. The Infernal Cannon, 3 attacks, strength 5, -2, 2 damage. He's got his Hellforged weapons, which are all psychic with devastating wounds. Strength 8, -2, 3 damage, or 12 attacks at strength 6, -1, 1 damage. Not too crazy. The sweep's fine. But his Hellforged strike weapon is great. Strength 8, -2 with 3 damage and dev wounds. He gets Lone Operative. He also, as you just mentioned, has Spirit Snare. So each time a model with the Cabala's sorcery abilities is destroyed whilst within 9, select one of those models with this ability. Until the end of the battle, each time the selected model attempts a ritual, add one to the Psychic test to a maximum of 2. So you can use the Demon Prince when things die around him. When they die, he like absorbs their power and gets better at casting rituals, becoming +1 or even +2. Now, obviously, you can still get another +1 from the immediately Vortex Beast when he uses 3d6 rather than 2d6. So now you can have a +3 Demon Prince with the Exalted Sorcerer on foot. Within Reviving Bodyguard, you can kill the Aspiring Sorcerer out of the unit and then absorb it with Spirit Snare with the Demon Prince to get +1. And then with the Bodyguard ability, you can revive them. That's a really, really good little little combo of kind of like killing your Aspiring Sorcerer, shooting back with Revenge of the Rubrici, absorbing the Sorcerer due to the Demon Prince Spirit Snare, and then reviving the Sorcerer with the Exalted Sorcerer. There's a lot of Sorcerer words there. So essentially, one model dies, you shoot back, your other model gets a ritual +1 to cast, and then you revive him. That's a pretty fun little combo, and it's not bad. It's not that hard to set up, and it's pretty decent, I would say. It's pretty decent, I would say. It's just the thing is with it is it relies on stuff dying, which is never fun. But he's going to give the unit stealth between them, so you're going to have like. With this Winged Demon Prince, you're going to have, especially if you run it with the Exalt and the Bodyguard, etc., you're going to have like stealth, a 4+ invuln and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways you can stack it quite well. He's decent in combat. They're all psychic weapons, and there's loads of ways to buff psychic weapons in this list. So I think he's probably up here. I think I think I overlooked them initially, but I think the Demon Prince is the Demon Prince on foot is probably decent, or even maybe strong. Yeah, maybe strong, because there's obviously loads of enhancements you can give them as well. You can make him like damage, strength 9, damage 4 with death wounds and psychic, which is just nuts, it feels like. Yeah, I think strong for the Demon Prince. I think Demon Prince on foot is pretty good. Only moves 9, temporal surge, time flux, etc. Makes him a lot faster. I like him. I like him a lot. Next up, the Demon Prince with wings this time. Obviously, moves 13 and only T9 rather than T10. Otherwise, identical in terms of weaponry. Now, he has Hunter of Souls. Whenever he makes an attack that targets a character unit, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll. If the attack targets a psychic character model or character unit, reroll hits and wounds instead. And every time he destroys a character, regain D3 wounds. If it's a psychic character, regain 3 wounds instead. Very, very nice ability. There's a lot of character units, like I've just mentioned. A lot of people are just taking max bricks of something, banging a character in there. Cool, you got a really good unit. This guy's rerolling hits and wounds of 1 against most of those. If it's a Psyker, then you're getting full rerolls. Now, Ether Stride is pretty fun. You can deep strike 3 away. Now, I think this will be corrected to 6 away currently. Just the way the balance data slate has worked previously. So let's say it says you can set up anywhere more than 6 away horizontally. You get sustained D3 on the Dark Blessing, so it'll be strength 9 minus strength 9, strength 4. 9 attacks, strength 4, minus 1 damage with sustained D3, which is nice, but you can't charge. I mean, it's okay. It's pretty fun. You can deep strike 6 and then make himself temporal surge and move another D6 or potentially flat 6. So you can basically put him anywhere. You can like get near infiltrators. You can get near characters with lone opera and stuff like that. It's not crazy though. The only plus side is it's a psychic weapon, so there are other buffs you can get on it. So I think the Winged Demon Prince is like decent. I think the one on foot's arguably better. The Spirit Snare is a good ability. The giving out stealth is great, and the fact that you have lone operative. The Demon Prince of Tzeentch is decent because the reroll hits and wounds is good. He's good in combat. Give him some enhancements. Send him in a really annoying unit. But with the Demon Prince on foot being 180 and the one on with wings 170, maybe he's here. The 6 inch is too situational. Yeah, there's not many times you need to deep strike 6 because you kind of want him in combat. You do kind of want him in combat. I think probably better than a sorcerer. I think maybe the sorcerer. I think that. Winged Demon Prince top of B, Araman middle, the sorcerer low B. I think sustained versus lethal is much better. You're not going to be deep striking him 6 inches very often. It's just nice to have in your pocket, especially with a new mission pack. We don't know what's going to be in there. I think, yeah, I think top of B. Top of B. Okay, next up, Sorcerer in Terminator armor. At 85 points. Here he is. Now, this is a pretty good one. Now, I've run this guy with, like, max unit of Scarabs. I think you could probably... Another unit that you could probably run on his own. He does give lethal hits to the units attached to. So if you are taking Scarabs, you probably want to take one of these guys as well. But he's got Marked by Fate. In your shooting phase, after his model unit is shot, select one of your unit, hit by one or more of his attacks with a psychic weapon, and then until the end of the phase, each time a friendly 1,000 unit makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll. That is just such an insanely good ability that almost feels random. Not only can you give out Oath of Moment onto a unit, you can now give out +1 to hit. Obviously, you can tie those together, it's crazy, but also the fact that you have Destiny's Ruin on one unit and then +1 to hit on another makes your shooting very, very consistent. He's obviously alright. His shooting's got Gaze of Hate. The Gaze of Hate is a weapon. Strength 4, -3, 2 damage with anti-monster, anti-vehicle, 4+, and dev wounds. But the fact that he's got Deep Strike is pretty tanky because he's got 2 up 4 with 5 wounds. He's only 85 points. And then you can give him enhancement as well. I think the Terminator Sorcerer is right up. He might even be strong. Yeah, I think he's like up here on strong. Because you don't need to take Scarabs with him. You can just drop him into the list and he works. All you need to do is shoot 18 inches. That's it. That's all you need him to do. Deep strike, shoot 18 inches. The rest of the army does the rest, you know? Magnus has got shooting a unit with stealth. Bang a Terminator Sorcerer into him first. You know? Now he's hitting on 2s again. You know, first rubric squads killed a unit that had Destiny's Ruin on it. Okay, cool. Terminated Sorcerer shoots next, makes that unit +1 to hit, and then the next unit is hitting on 2s instead of 3s. Such a great little utility piece. Again, run around with like Araman and just be on his own. Just the fact that it gives army wine +1 to hit. You can probably consistently ruin 2 units a turn with Thousand Suns just by Destiny's Ruin on one of them, Terminated Sorcerer on another. So I think they're really good. I think he's really good. I think most lists will probably take a sorcerer depending what you run in. Like think about Zangors that only hit on 4s. You know, Zangors that only hit on 4s. Now you hit on 3s. Just that unit over there, please. It's great. It's great. And again, you essentially one unit in your army, which you have to remember because the thing is, whenever you talk about Thousand Suns, you've got to talk about the rituals, but you can't like. Not every unit is going to have the ritual on it, or a ritual on it. But essentially, every model, every turn, one model or one unit can advance and shoot with a Temporal Surge. You move your normal movement and then move an additional D6 with Temporal Surge. You essentially have advance and shoot on a unit every turn. It's a very similar process. And obviously, if you can give out Assault, it's 2d6 advance with Temporal Surge, like we mentioned. But yeah, he's just so good. +1 to hit on a unit. Just so... Oh, so good, so good. Okay, so next up we've got Sekitar Robots coming in at 90 to 2 and 180 for 4. So this is our brand new unit, the Sekitar, the ugliest unit, but brand new. I think everyone else's that have painted up have been really nice. I think the GW paint scheme is just so weird. It just stands out so much. It just does not go at all. All battle damaged, all looking weird, and loads of bone and stuff, when everyone else is like super clean bright blue. So the Sekitar Robot's 90 points, Infiltrator Stealth. Great ability. Great abilities. There's no other infiltrating naturally. There's obviously Risen Rubrici, which is good. But it is the only one detachment. But this is the only infiltrating unit in the army. Naturally. They have a bunch of shooting weapons. They've obviously got melters. They've got flamers. They've got the Hellfire missile racks. They're a great shooting unit. They're pretty tanky. It's toughness 6 with a 3+5+ with 4 wins each. They're essentially like Thousand Suns Obliterators, just not quite as good in my opinion. They do get to fire Overwatch or Heroic Intervention for free, which is nice. Once a battle round, so they're going to be firing Overwatch quite a lot if you give them flamers. I don't think you're going to heroically intervene with them too much because they're not that good in combat. And obviously their ballistic skill is only 4. As we just mentioned, Destiny's Ruin, Terminator Sorcerer. That is going to help a lot. There's obviously detachments if you're running... Don't know what that was. If you're running the Warp Meld Ironstorm pack, rerolling a hit or a wound or a damage, and if you're near a sorcerer, which you're probably going to be, you're going to reroll all of them, is really good. I think the Sekitar Robots... I think in that detachment they're really good. Outside of the detachment, they're not amazing. They're not amazing, I don't think. It's just that they've got infiltrate, which is nice, and they're pretty tanky. They are only OC1, so they're not going to be like infiltrating and taking objectives. They're just going to infiltrate and hold an objective for you. You know, they're not going to like take it off anyone. So they're pretty good. They are pretty good. I think they're a lot better than I first realised. You can, like, they've got the heavy warp flamer at D6 and the warp flame projector, which is only D3. That is the warp flame projector is pretty poo. It's just the fact that you got the missile racks and the melter gun. I think most people are going to run melter gun and heavy warp flamer. I think that's pretty much it. To be fair, 2 Sekitar Robots is only 10 points over Oblitz. I didn't realise they're more expensive than Obliterators. But they're worse. Over 1 Oblit. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, fine. So I think they're decent. I think they're alright. I don't understand why they made them BS4. I think it was to be like they're robots, not people. You know, they're magic robots. So I think they're decent. I think they're alright. In the right detachment, they become really strong. But overall, as a unit, they're okay. They're okay. They're nice and cheap, really. 90 points for 2 is relatively cheap. And again, it's a natural way to infiltrate, which is good against opposing infiltrating armies, against turn 1 deep striking armies, etc. Rubik's are magic robots too. Got me there. Got me there, bro. So next up, we got Scarab Occult Terminators. So Scarab Occult Terminators, they got a really good glow up. Obviously, they have naturally 3 wounds. They get 4 on the Sorcerer. We'll see the same with the Rubrics. They get an additional wound on the Sorcerer as well. So they feel very much like Eldar Exarch in that regard, having an extra wound. The Sorcerer exclusively is a Psyker model. So not only are you a Psyker unit, you also have a Psyker model, which ties in really well with some of the strategies that we've already mentioned. They've got Cabal of the Sorcerer on that model, so they can cast rituals themselves. Now, they're T5, 3 wounds. Their main abilities, while it contains 1 or more Psyker models, which the unit has a Psyker model when you put it in your army because of the Aspiring Sorcerer, it doesn't need to have a model attached like a lot of abilities. It just is, whilst the unit is alive, essentially, whilst that Sorcerer hasn't been killed. Obviously, if you then attach a different Sorcerer, you can kill that one off, etc., whatever. But whilst you've got a Psyker model in the unit, you are -1 to wound. Straight up. All the time. So good. Like, obviously, like, Wardens and Custodes are one of the staple units. Now, obviously, they have a 4+ Feeling Pain once per game in 1 phase. Obviously, that's insanely good. But the fact that they're -1 to wound when you are rolling over their toughness, with strength over toughness, is a great ability. These are just essentially -1 all the time. You can't really stop it. If, you actually, it's only the controlling player that can truly stop this ability as far as I'm aware. Obviously, if you have a Psychic character attached to the unit, your opponent can precision, heroic challenge, etc. and kill that character. But currently, I don't think there's any way where your opponent can choose the model you kill out of a bodyguard unit. So I think it's only the player who can choose whether to lose the -1 to wound. It's completely, there's no way to stop it as far as I'm aware. And if you do know, let me know down in the comments. But I don't think there's any other way to get rid of the -1 to wound because the Psychic character, or Psychic model even, is the Aspiring Sorcerer in this unit, which your opponent can't kill. So they're essentially -1 to wound all the time. Now, Scarab Occult Terminators aren't cheap. They are 180 for 5 or 375 for 10. That isn't the cheapest unit in the army. Which makes them go from really good to decent. I think they're around here. I think they're around here with the Demon Prince and Iron Man. A decent unit, definitely. They've got really good shooting. They've got the Missile Rats, they've got the Soul Reapers. Maybe they're strong. They're strong. I think you kind of, if you're going to play them competitively, I don't even think you need them, to be honest. They're a good staying power unit. They're a really good staying power unit. They have some really good shooting. They're not bad in combat, which is a lot of the units. They're all right in combat. 10 is hard to kill, definitely. 10 is very hard to kill, but it's also a quarter of your army once you put a character in there. Because if you're taking 10 Scarabs, you're probably taking a Sorcerer as well to give them lethal. Are they strong or are they decent? Are they in a lot of lists? Probably. Yeah, we'll put them in strong. I think they're a really good unit. And they've just got loads of DACA. They've got the Sorcerer with them, probably. It just means it's like nearly 500, like 450 points of unit. But that 450 points of unit doesn't die easily. 10 Scarabs plus Sorcerer and Magnus is about 1,000 points. Yeah. 420 for Magnus, 380, 375, sorry, and then another 85 for the Sorcerer, and then probably an enhancement as well, let's be honest. It's very expensive, but it is good. 10 with that 2+ to hit would make them genuinely decent. Now, you can't give them +2/1 to hit in combat because the Terminator Sorcerer, Sorcerer and Terminator Armor only gives +1 to hit during the phase, and it's after that unit's shot. So if you took him separately and had the Terminator Sorcerer shoot and then just shot the 10 Scarabs separately as 2 separate units, you would get +1 to hit and shooting. But then you are missing out on having him attached and giving them lethals. Oh, the enhancement. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, there's an enhancement in here. Is it in warp meld? No, not warp meld. Warp forge. Oh, there it is. Lords of the Rubrici. While the barrier's leading the unit, each time a Rubrici model in that unit makes an attack, add one to the hit roll. Yeah, Lord of Rubrici from the Rubrici Phalanx in there with the Scarab Cult, making them essentially hit on 2s, costing you an extra 15 points is really good. It is really good. Yeah, you're right. My apologies. I completely forgot about that enhancement. So that is a really good enhancement. But again, you're talking 20 points to be safe, 15 points, making the Sorcerer 100 points, making that a 475 point unit. Does it do 475 points of game? I think it does, but it's a little slow. Really, if I want to play Scarabs, I think Umbralific Crystal might be the only way to play them. Because then the problem is they are a bit slow, so they are forcing to use, you're forced to use Temporal Surge on them to make them a little bit quicker, because they only move 5. And the problem is they don't super synergize well with the Rubric Detachment too much, because they can't use the -1 damage strat. The reason that all these dust ability as well is that it's unmodified damage roll of 1, or damage of 1. So if you were able to use the -1 damage strat on the Scarabs, it wouldn't stack with the all of dust, which is very funny. Because there's a bit of a meme of people asking me, does it stack with all his dust? Because there is a stratagem called Implacable Guardians. It's 2 command points, 1 Rubric Marine Psycho unit from your army. Till the end of the phase, each time attack is allocated to the model unit, excluding Psycho models. Subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. However, all his dust is each time an attack with a modified damage of 1 is allocated to Rubric model your army. Add 120 armor saving throw. So, in fact, it does not stack with all his dust, I'm afraid. The question has been answered. I thought it did, but it actually does not stack with all his dust. So it makes the detachment a lot worse, which means you're probably not going to be using that enhancement +1 to hit very often. Because it doesn't stack, which is cringe. It's mega cringe, to be honest. So yeah, they're good. They're good. They're strong. They are strong. They're not crazy. They're not crazy. They're just a bit expensive, I think. They feel a little expensive. And I think I'll say this now. I think a lot of the 1,000 Sun units feel really good, but they are pricey. You just don't get a lot in the army. Probably going to be one of the cheapest armies to build just because everything's like 200 odd points every time you want to put it in the unit, in the army. The most expensive unit in this book is probably the Tzaangor Enlightened, and you want loads of those. But overall, as a 1,000 Suns army, not including Tzaangors, everything's quite expensive, so it's going to be quite a small army, but that just makes every unit feel really good. Feel really, really good. Speaking of, we've got the Rubric Marines next. Now, they've had quite a glow up because of all their bolters, and obviously every bolter that we've not mentioned so far has additional AP. Everything's AP2. The Scarabs are AP2. The Soul Reapers are AP2. The Inferno Bolt Guns are AP2. You know, every bolt weapon or every bullet weapon gained AP for some reason. Now, obviously, they can take all the Flamers, which are still a Strength 4, -1 damage. They still have Bringers of Change, which is reroll wound rolls of 1. If you're on an objective, you reroll all wounds. And then now the Icon of Flame gives Ignore Cover. As we've already mentioned with the Scarabs, they've got an additional wound on the Sorcerer. You can do all the tricks with the Sorcerer. I think Rubrics are just decent. They're a mainstay of the army. You're going to have Rubrics in this army. You can't play them without it, really. Are you going to have loads? Maybe. You can arguably say they're strong. They're 3 up, 5 up, which is really nice. They're rerolling wounds, which is nice. I just think there's other things that are much better than Rubrics that need to go higher. So I'm going to put them in decent. I think Scarabs and Rubrics are pretty similar there in terms of like strength. The whole codex reads like they wrote it to be really synergistic, but then unpicked it all after because they were afraid of it being toxic. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, actually. That really wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. So yeah, they are really good. They are really good. They're really strong, and they're coming in at how many points? 100 for 5 or 190 for 10. They're not too expensive for what they do on the table, but they are just Space Marines, you know? They are just Space Marines. They're Space Marines with an invuln. They can also cast. So, like, they're not, like, they're not insane for that many points. We will get onto the insane, I think. I think we will get onto the insane. You have to swap scarabs and rubrics. You think? Scarabs are pretty awful. I don't think they're awful. I think they're just expensive. An unkillable, well, not unkillable, but a very hard to kill brick of 10. But it's such an points investment. Let's swap them around and see what it looks like. Because I think rubrics are kind of expensive, but I suppose you get 20 for the same price as, nearly for the same price as 10 scarabs. The good damage in this army comes from psychic characters. Rubrics give them reroll wounds. Very, very true. Very, very true. Yeah, that's a good point. Think about the characters that can attach to units. The rubrics not only gain from the characters gain from the rubrics. Yeah, I did think about that. Because you've essentially got like lots of little tiny pseudo missiles from the characters when they are attached to the units, or even when they're on their own. And then they're giving sustained lethal. And then the rubrics are buffing them. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. That's a really good point. You're giving it at least reroll ones to wound just by being attached. That could change how these characters sit. Because Ahriman's shooting is pretty good. With reroll wounds, it's even better. Yeah, good point. I didn't really consider attaching the characters to get all those buffs back on them. I was purely thinking how the characters buff the unit rather than the other way around. Yeah, you're right. If you attach your scarabs, your 375 point unit is now 460 with a quarter of your army. Still not that good. Infernal's still just getting 18-inch flame with the flip. It's the only thing that's relatively consistent. Yeah, the Infernal's great. Like, Ahriman's shooting is pretty good. With the reroll wounds, it's even better. I think overall I'm happy with that now. Yeah, I think thinking about rubrics giving the characters buffs is really good. Scarabs are good but expensive. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, we've got Chaos Predator Destructor now. This is going to be our autocannon version. And I think this is pretty good. If you get hit by a psychic weapon, then you improve the strength and AP of attacks by this model. So it's going to be strength 10 -2, 3 damage, which is obviously really good. Again, you've got abilities such as Destiny's Ruin. You've got whatever the minus AP strat is called. The minus 1 AP psychic power is called. They're relatively cheap, the Chaos Predators. At 130 for this one. The Destructor is 140. They're not expensive. I don't know if you're going to see loads of Predators, to be honest, in like the meta game. I don't know if Predators is going to be the one. I think they are good on paper. They are cheap on paper. The ability is good. So I think probably decent. I think probably decent. They're good long-range shooting. The only issue is like, you need to time it properly. It's 4 shots for the strength 10 -2, 3 damage, or 6 shots if you're within 24 inches. That is good. That is actively good. I think the problem is vehicle. I think you're not running many vehicles outside that one detachment, though. I don't think you necessarily need them. Whenever people list right, they're like, oh, I need long-range anti-tank. And a lot of the time, you just don't. You know, look at Custodes. When was the last time they run long-range anti-tank? You know what I mean? Usually, if you just get shots into stuff with lethal, with rerolls, we'd just make it a unit take loads and loads of saves all at 1 damage, but high AP. You don't usually need like long-range anti-tank, but the Predator does fill that hole if you need it. He's a Van-Tanker, that's an elite infantry killer. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I always say like 3 damage feels like anti-tank, but yeah, infantry are getting 3 wounds at this point. The Calidus tank every game. I don't think you even need the Calidus at this point. And jet bikes are like a situational pick. Use the Terminator Sword to attack the Predator's target. With the second attack, you get +1 to hit as well. Yeah, you'll be hitting on 2, strength 10, minus 2, 3 damage. Maggie loves it when a Predator fills a hole. Great. Great job. Is it better than decent? The problem is the Predator doesn't synergize at all. It only takes. It doesn't give anything else to the army. It's just like decent shooting, if that makes sense. Does he want to go higher than decent? Higher than bottom of B? Do depend on what your enemy has. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's going to be awkward to get around terrain as well when everything else is going to be able to just... He feels slow, but bounce through it. I think tanks in Thousand Suns are such a weird one to rank because they don't really, like, go with it. You know what I mean? They don't really go with it. They're there. They do stuff. Don't get me wrong. But they don't go with it. Anyway, we got the Predator Annihilator next. So this is similar. If you attack a monster or vehicle with the Thousand Sun Psychic attack, you can reroll the hit and the damage roll. The twin las cannon has twin links, but then everything else doesn't. So you reroll a hit and damage, which is fun. But the main Predator las cannon. So one of them is going to be rerolling hits, wounds, and damage. The other 2 is going to be rerolling hits and damage exclusively. It's a bit situational. I think the Predator Annihilator is more situational. I think the 3 damage for the Predator Destructor, getting the additional AP and being a consistent strength 10, is good. It's got a bunch of shots. But the thing is with the Predator Annihilator, it's only 3 shots, really. You know, rerolling the hits, rerolling 1 of the wound, potentially an additional 1 in the right detachment, and then rerolling the damage rolls is good, but it's 3 shots. You know what I mean? All 3 hit because you're rerolling hits, 2 wound, let's say, 1 of them rerolling, and then your opponent makes 1 of the saves, so you're going to do maybe 5 damage. On average, if you shoot a monster vehicle, it's got 4 plus M1 usually. It's fine. It's just fine. 130 points, it's really cheap as well. It's just fine. It's not bad. It's just fine. I think, again, the same problem is that it doesn't mega synergize with the rest of the army. It's just there, and it gets a little bit better. I'm not playing Thousand Suns to run Predators, you know what I mean? That's why I play it for children. Okay, next up. They fucking did it again. The Chaos Rhino, straight to the top. The Chaos Rhino, move 12, T9, 10 wounds. It's a Rhino, whatever. In your shooting phase, after the smaller shots, let one enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly model that disembarked from this transport makes a psychic attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit and wound roll. This is Magnus's old ability, but on a Rhino exclusively. Now, obviously, psychic weapons can be their mind bullets, etc., their arcane blasts or whatever. In the right detachment, it can also be almost every weapon in the unit. It could be every bolter, for example, at strength 5 with +1 to hit and wound. But obviously, you've got the usual. You've got Ahriman's shooting attack. You've got the Infernal Master's shooting attack. You've got the Exalted Sorcerer's shooting attacks. All of these can be +1 to hit and wound, which is obviously really good. You've got the synergy of using it with Grand Coven to get devastating wounds, etc. There's lots and lots and lots of nice synergy. There's lots and lots of really nice synergy with the Rhino. It's a very good unit, and it's only coming in at 90 points. So it's really cheap. Buff's a good unit. I mean, rhinos are pretty staple to most marine armies, especially Chaos. Chaos always has rhinos. They're really, really good staple. And then the ability on this one. The abilities for the last couple, like the Death Guard ability as well, absolutely insanely good. Just so good, to be honest. Really, really good ability on that guy for just a mere 90 points. You're going to be taking 1 or 2 most games. Most games. Maybe 100 points would be more reasonable for that ability. I don't think... Because it feels like every Chaos Rhino is like 90 points. I don't think they're pointing for the ability they're giving Rhinos at the point in a minute. They're pointing for a Rhino, but not for the ability the Rhino gives the unit. And fucking add-on to hit and wound on all psychic attacks is great. So, Rhino, straight up there. Auto take. Great unit. Great unit. You're going to see one in every list. Vindicator next. The Vindicator is a Vindicator. It's situational. It's a Vindicator. You obviously have the psychic abilities you can benefit from, but it's 185 points, so they're not the cheapest unit to play with. And it doesn't have any funky abilities with psychic weapons. It's just got Sea Shield. It's just the same as every other Vindicator. I think they're trying to get rid of him, to be honest. I think, personally, they're trying to get rid of the old Vindicator. They don't want to do much with it. It's just the same as everyone else. You've obviously got all the rituals. You've got reroll hits. You've got extra AP, etc. Whatever. It's just a bit situational. It's a good anti-tank weapon, if you want one. I don't think Thousand Suns need it. I think they have a lot of other abilities that kind of make up for it. That makes every other unit multifunctional rather than just being a Vindicator, which is obviously very good. But it's expensive. It's good in the vehicle detachment, you know? So it's just situational. It's kind of like the Predator. Next up, the Chaos Land Raider. Again, Land Raider, I feel, is very situational. I don't think it's shit. I don't think it's a bad unit. It's how much is a Land Raider? 240 points. It's just the same as every other Land Raider. You're probably not using it, to be honest. I might even make me put it in trash. I don't think you need it. I think putting a Land Raider in a list now just screams casual. You know? I don't know what about it. I don't know what it is about Land Raiders. Whenever I see a Land Raider list, it just screams casual to me. You know? It's so big. It's got... Okay, it's got las cannons. Cool. Cool. That's it. You've got Terminators that are probably just like going to walk up the board or deep strike. You know? Up, down with the crystal. You're probably taking Rhinos for rubrics. I feel called out. Stop putting Land Raiders in your fucking list, bro. Is it trash? No, it's fine. I just feel like a lot of the vehicles are going to end up here, so I'm moving this one down. Speaking of, Hellbrute. Hellbrute, the most famous. I'm surprised they still have them, but they were in Space Marine 2, so they had to put them in the Codex. Either the shooting phase and the fighting phase, after the smallest shot or thought, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. That unit must take a battle shock -1 if it's 1,000 cycle within 9. And it gets better in combat. Now, a Hellbrute is 110 points. I don't think these are that good, to be honest. Giving out battle shock test is always bad. I think the Hellbrute is pretty poo, personally. It's cheap. It's OC3. It does hit hard with the hammer, strength 14, -3, D6 +1, but it does hit on a 4. How do you get it into combat? I don't really know. I don't know how you can get it, but I don't know what it does. I got 3 of these bad boys. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm never going to use them. I'll never put them in a list, to be honest. 110 points is cheap, though. $110 points is quite cheap, but it doesn't do much. It's a rhino. It's a rhino with a hammer. Vehicle detachment makes a multi-belter and fist combo more reliable for the points. Yeah, in the right detachment, maybe it's situational. But are you taking a Hellbrute or are you taking second-tier robots? You know? Paint them red and sell them for loads on eBay. They changed the helmet move style. It moves 8, this one, so no. It's situational at best, yeah. They're good for World Eater ones. They are pretty good, yeah. World Eater ones, they are pretty good. But I'm not mega excited about them in Thousand Suns. In that detachment, I think they're just trash. I don't think you take it. I think you're probably taking all of this over it. They did. Did it move 7? I just think the Hellbrute is such an iconic model for Thousand Suns because of the game. But that's it. The CSM ones only move 6. Oh, that's quite funny. Okay, next up we've got the Forge Fiend coming in at 140 points. The Plasma Boy. Obviously taking the Ectoplasma. Strength 10, minus 3 damage, D3 shots with Blast. You can take the Auto Cannons at Strength 8, minus 2. Okay. You can give out -1 to hit. You can suppress units. Arguably better than a Hellbrute. For what, 20 points more? 30 points more? Is it worth it for the OC? As I said, you take a Forge Fiend for 30 points more. You get more wounds. You move faster. You have a slightly worse save. A 3 up, 5 up rather than a 2 up, 5 up. I'd rather a Forge Fiend. Same with the Mauler Fiend, coming in at 130 points. So again, 20 points more than a Hellbrute. Now, the fact that you can heroically intervene and reroll charges is fine. They just don't fit Thousand Suns very well. The way that the rules are for them, I just don't think they fit. I think arguably the Mauler Fiend's slightly better than... Maybe the Mauler Fiend comes up here, I think. Somewhere around there, I think, maybe. Situational at best. They're alright in the right detachment. They're okay. They're relatively cheap for what they are. The Mauler Fiend punches it nicely in combat, which is cool. It's got the Magma Cutters. With the right detachment, you can reroll hit, a wound, and a damage. You can reroll all of them near a sorcerer, which is cool. Because obviously you can charge these in, then Deep Strike a Winged Demon Prince within 6 and do alright. Mauler Fiend should be EC, not T-Suns. Yeah, for Emperor's Children, they're really good because they can advance and charge. But this one can't. And you can't Temporal Surge or anything and then still charge, so it's fine. It's fine. Okay, next up is the Defiler. Defile her, more like. Now, it's a Feel Pain of a 6+. It moves only 8. But it has a fun ability. It can move over 4 inches or less if it's a monster vehicle or terrain. And each time you target this unit with Fire of What stratagem hits are scored on an unmodified 5+. For each of those attacks attacking you within 9 inches of a Thousand Sun Psyker, a hit is scored on a 4+. So Overwatch on a 4+ is fun. It's got so it's currently equipped with Cannon, Reaper Autocannon, Twin Flamer, and then Claws. You can obviously give it the Havoc Launch if you want to, which is pretty shit, so you probably will not do that. You can take a Twin Las Cannon or an Inferno Bolter. Overwatch on 4 is pretty fun. It is pretty fun. The problem is with it is, how many points are they? They're 165 points, so they're on the more expensive end of these vehicles. They're closer to a Vindicator than on anything else. The problem is it only moves 8, so on the wrong terrain type, you can't get them anywhere. On the wrong terrain type, they're not going anywhere. On GW, they're pretty alright. The Overwatch is alright. It's nice to have a 4+ Overwatch with the Blast, the Defy the Cannon Strength 10 -1 3 damage, or hitting on 4s at D6 +3 with Blast. That is a pretty nice Overwatch bait, and it's going to make your opponent worry about it because you're hitting on 4s. But yeah, on the wrong terrain, they are awful. On the wrong terrain, they are awful. So like I said, they're situational. I think I'd rather one of them over maybe a Predator. On the wrong terrain, I think they're awful. On the right terrain, they're great. You go to a GW event, amazing. If you go to a WTC event, awful. They're just really big. I think that's a problem. I think they're just like way too big. They're such a cool iconic unit. The ability is pretty fun. The Overwatch on 4s, if you can pull it off, is good. You put my yours on a base. Yeah, I think, do they come with bases at the minute? I don't know. But yeah, they're just huge. Like, yeah, you can walk over 4-inch terrain, but can you actually like get your base over it with an 8-inch move? I'm surprised they don't move 12. You know, 8 inches seems really slow for a spider walker, you know? It's got like 4 legs and 2 extra. It's got 4 legs and 2 extra, and they've made it slow. I kind of want a Deathwatch again. I had one when I was really young. One of the first models I bought that was new. And I miss it. I miss it every day. I should buy one before they go away forever. But yeah, like a lot of the other units, like the Forge Fiend, the Mauler Fiend, the Land Raider, the Hellbrute, don't feel that exciting. At least the Defiler has like a fun ability that makes you consider it, you know? It makes you consider it. The Dread is actually really good at 110 points. Why is the Dread really good at 110? Sell it to me. I'm going to quickly grab a drink while Gary sells it to me. 1 second. It's 110 points. Yeah. Well, does it do much outside of the warp flame detachment? Yeah, floating rerolls and the multi-metal and hammer is good. There you go. I'll move the predator. I'll move the Hellbrute up. There you go. It can be in. It can. It's gonna have to go down. I can't be having that. Can't be having overlapping. Oh, I can do this. There we go. I can zoom out. I can't be having overlaps. Can't be doing that. Awful. In the vehicle detachment, they're alright. They're 110 points. Would you not be taking Secatars over them, though, for the shooting multi-melters? I suppose they have, like, the combat threat, though. You take both. Okay. I'll move the Hellbrute up then. I'm a benevolent god. I don't completely ignore people. Okay, next up the Helldrake. Oh, sorry. Yep, you're welcome. Chaos Spawn next. Do we have Spawn in here? We do. Chaos Spawn. The Chaos Spawn are just so cheap. 65 points. They're just action monkeys, right? The Chaos Spawn are just great. They're just strong. Rip anyone who has to paint a Helldrake. Grab yourself a Gundam marker. It's the only way. The Chaos Spawn is just... It's just a great little unit. The fact that it heals up 3 wounds, essentially it goes back up to full wounds at the start of each player's command phase. Great. Excellent. 65 points. Get some actions done. Call it a day. You know? They're pretty good. You're going to see them in a lot of lists because I just think they're great for holding back line objectives and just doing little actions. They don't do much on the table. They're alright in combat D6+2 attacks with strength 5 -1/2 damage. But their real benefit is the fact they've got a 5+ invuln, they've got feel their pain, and they do actions. So, speaking of the Helldrake, I think it needs to come up in points. It's 215 points, the Helldrake. I think it needs to be more expensive. I think 250. Okay, we're on to the goats now. We nearly run out. We've only got about 5 units left. The Zangor Shaman. the Tzaangor Shaman. So the Tzaangor Shaman comes in at 55 points. Very cheap. One of the cheapest units in the book. There is another unit that's cheaper. It's got Baleful Devolution, D6 shots, Blast with Devastating Wounds and Psychic. Strength 9, no AP 1 damage, which is very funny. You can actually kill a bodyguard using Sacrificial Blessing, using the Sacrificial Knife. Whilst leading the unit in the shoot phase and the fight phase, each time this model is let shoot or fight, this model can use his ability. So that one bodyguard model in that unit is destroyed until the end of the phase. Add D3 attacks and strength to the weapons equipped by this model. So you could potentially have D6 plus D3 at strength 9 plus D3, damage 1. And then full stave, strength 8 maybe. You're not really taking shamans, I don't think, chat. I don't think the shaman's that good, to be honest. His other one is give +1 to hit, but I don't think you need it if you're taking a Terminator Sorcerer, because he gives everybody +1 to hit. The shaman is giving exclusive that unit +1 to hit. So I don't think the shaman is great, personally. I don't see it. Unless you need to, like, an enhancement on one of the Warp Meld pack things. Unless there's, like, an exclusive shaman. It can kill models, get +1 to cast on rituals. You can give them stealth, essentially. Or give them a 4+ Finna Pain. I don't think he's trash. I just think he's not great. I don't think you're taking them very often. I think they're going to be in situational as well. I think he's here with these altered, right? 55 point action unit that can also attempt rituals if everyone else whiffs. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's kind of like similar to the spawn, right? But he's a bit faster than the spawn. Do you need him? Again, if you exclusively talk about Warforged Cabal, right? You're not running him in there. Are you running him in Warp Meld? It gives him -1 to hit, but like, would you just not want an Exalted Sorcerer? Would you not just want to give him, you take an Exalted Sorcerer on disc over a Shaman every time? Because I don't think there's any idea where I take an Exalted Shaman over, a Tzaangor Shaman over a Sorcerer. Can he use to buff vehicles in the vehicle detachment? Can he? How does he buff vehicles? Unless you're getting him the... Oh, right, he's a sorcerer within 9. He's fine. I just don't think you need him, to be honest. I think you have enough sorcerers, right? I think you have enough sorcerers in the list that you don't need him. You can give him an operative in that detachment. But would you not want something else? His shooting's pretty meh, in my opinion. And this is super objective, by the way. Super, don't forget, this is like up there with like the perfect review. But yeah, I think you're just taking other sorcerers, and if you've got 55 points spare, maybe you'll take him. But I think I would rather a unit of Tzaangor Enlightened with sticks, if I was going to take anything. So Tzaangor Enlightened are 50 points, or 80 for 6. They are both the next units, the ones with sticks, one with bows, are exactly the same points. Now, this one has the Divining Spear, Lance Precision, 3 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 5, -1, 2 damage. Okay, hitting on 4's cringe. You could take a Tzaangor Shaman to give them +1 to hit, granted. Now, you could also use the other ability, the Destiny's Ruin for rerolls. Okay. So maybe a Tzaangor Shaman, not too bad. Each time this unit enters a charge move, select one enemy unit with engagement range of it, and then roll a d6 for each model in this unit with engagement range of that enemy unit. For each roll of 4 push, do a mortal wound. So they're jump pack intercessors. But you have to be in base contact like jump pack intercessors. But they're on 40 mil bases, so it's a lot harder to do. If you've got 3 in a character, it's not so bad. If you've got 6 and then a character, you're probably not getting all 7 in. You're probably getting like 3, maybe 4 in to do some more wounds. But they've got the Divining Spear. You're probably not taking the Auto Pistol and Chainsword, even though the Chainswords are precision, which is very funny. But for 50 points for 3, these are Action Monkeys. They are right here. I think these are really good. Now, you're probably taking bow ones over these, but these are the same points. And the fact that you can make them Lone Operative 18, this is really what's your shooting phase. Ooh, is that true? Let me check that. Oh, that's true. Until the end of the psychic phase. Until the end of that phase, sorry, you only get rerolls. So yeah, Destiny's Ruin is only shooting. My apologies, I completely missed that. So +1 to hit actually becomes interesting. Maybe that I'll overlook the Shaman. I think these ones are like strong. I think these ones are strong. I think they're pretty good as just like actions, for actions, you know. I don't think you take Zangor Enlightened for combat. I think they're good in combat, but I think you're mostly taking them to do actions that are cheaper than Spawn. If I had to choose, I'd probably take Zangor Enlightened over Spawn, just because they're a little bit quicker. They've got an in-run as well, and they're not bad in combat. Now, the unit is obviously the Skyfires. The unit of this book is definitely the Zangor Enlightened with Fate Caster Bows, or Skyfires, as they're called in the other game. Ignore cover, lethal hits, precision, 2 attacks at strength 4, -5, 2, strength 5, -2, 2 damage. I don't know why I keep cocking that up. No infantry keyword on the Enlightened, so got to go around those ruins. Very true, they can't go through walls. Same with the Zangor Enlightened with bows. They also don't have infantry. They have to go around them. They have a reactive move. You have within 9, you can move D6. But obviously, the fact that you can attach an Exalted Sorcerer on disc to give this unit Lone Operative, to give it an enhancement buff. You can also... they have Lone Operative 18 and they shoot 30. So they can't be targeted when they're shooting the unit that they're shooting into. With precision and lethal, and it's in the shooting phase, which means you can use the Terminator Source to give them +1 to hit. You've got Destiny Runes in your pocket, so you can give reroll wounds if you want to kill that character, for example. They just snipe characters out so well. They were this many points. Now, I think they've gained AP since the last index, but you couldn't give them Lone Operative. And I think given the fact that you can just bang these 2 units together, 80 points for 12 shots with Lone Op, so 180. The character is more expensive than the unit. 180, move 10. They are such a good unit, which is why I've just painted 6. Chat, I've just finished painting. Don't see, they're really pretty. Yo, chat, look how pretty they are. Look at them. Whoa, look at that. Damn, son. Damn, son, look at those. Coming this Friday. That's so nice. So they got the reactive move, yeah, so they're just really defensive. So if you do get near them, then they can move out of the way. They've got 30-inch range with Lone Op. They're just the best unit in the book. The best unit in the book, by far. By far, chap. Always loved the Zanglor. I've always loved the Zanglor. You know what I mean? Zangor, more like Zanglor. Is it really get 3 max units of Zangors, though? Well, if you think about it, that is 240 points. $340 if you want a Lone Operative on the... Okay, if he took 3 with Lone Operative, it's 540 points. Need to get Zang more of them. Like, are you complaining about spending 500 points on 3 units of Lone Operative with lethal and precision? I don't think you're really taking 3 units of Skyfires. But I think you're taking 1 or 2. I think you're going to see them in every list. Like, why wouldn't you? Except for the fact that it costs a lot of money to buy. Because they're £80 for 80 points of unit. And let's use my link in the description, Exclamation Point Outpost. You can use my link to Outpost. Okay, you can grab yourself some discount Warhammer. Zango's coming in at only £30 for 3. That's so much cheaper. That's £60 for 80 points. You can grab a bunch of stuff at discount, 20% off pre-orders, and help out the channel at the same time. My Technomancer's shaking in fear. Yeah. Turn up to a Thousand game, you suddenly have to worry about what your characters are. A lot. Anyway, next up we got more Zanglor. We got the Zangor. Just a normal unit. They're Scout 6. They have Strat Reserve. Well, they can go to Strat Reserve, the opponent's turn. They're Scouts, essentially. T4, 6+ Inbun, which is nice. You've got the Zangor Blades at Strength 5, or they've got the Chainsword and Auto Pistol, which is Strength 4. Now, this unit is take a unit and hold an objective at the back. You know, a lot of the time. I think you can only attach Zangor. Can you attach Zangor Shaman to them? I think that's the other character, right? Yeah, I think only the Zangor Shaman can attach to them. So it's a bit limiting what you can do with them. Now, in the Warp Meld Pact, you can, as far as I'm aware, you can uppy downy these and then deep strike them. Yeah, so reinforcement step of your movement phase. Yeah, you can deep strike a Tzeentch mutant unit. Anyone on the battlefield more than 3. But obviously that will become 6 or 9 from a monster. In either case, till the turn, the units are not eligible to charge. What you can do is take a big brick of 120 Zangors. 20 Zangors, because 10 or 70, but 20 or 160. You can take a Zangor Shaman on them. You can take any other character on them, because you can actually attach Sorcerers or Infernal Master with them with an upgrade, which is going to set you back 15 points for Bray Lord. You can actually start your Zangor unit on the board with a character attached, or a character nearby at least. You can then remove them at the end of your opponent's turn, and then spend 1 CP and deep strike them 6 inches away from your opponent's army. And then you can temporal surge that unit and move it D6 minimum. Move it D6 towards your opponent's army that your Zangor unit now can't charge, but that Zangor unit at 160 points plus a character, or a character that can see the Zangor where you deep strike 20 of them, is now move blocking your opponent's army. And turn 2, you can do it again. Because you can deep strike 6 and then move D6. That is an horrific little combo that you can do with Twisted Mirage. And it's really cheap to do as well. It is extremely cheap. You can... Zangor Jail is definitely a thing. I think Zangors, in that context, are right up there at S tier. Purely because that is a horrific strat. In that one detachment exclusively, of course. But you could take 2 units if you wanted to. Do this one turn, deep strike 6 away, move D6 and just be an inch away from your opponent's army. So anything that can't fly can't move. They overwatch it. Okay, cool. There's 20 of them with an invuln. Good luck. And then you can do it again in the next turn for the sake of 2 CP for 2 turns. It's 1 CP each. I think Twisted Mirage might be carrying Zangor, the Zangor unit, right to the top. But that is a horrible ability. A very horrible ability. We obviously think about it with like Poxwalkers with Infiltrate. They stopped them scouting, so you couldn't do a horrific jail. But Infiltrate then move is still really good. The fact that you can just deep strike them 6 away with Twisted Mirage is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And as you can see, it's suddenly become a goat codex. You know what I mean? Rather than a codex about Magnus and all these cool sorcerers, it's all about goats. That's it. That's it. And obviously in that attachment as well, you got advanced shoot and charge for a Tzeentch mutant unit. So them Zangor Skyfires can move 10 plus D6, temporal surge for another D6, and then shoot. Oh, it's silly, chap. It's very silly. It's very, very silly. Okay, then the final unit for Thousand Suns, because I'm not doing demons because they're not that great. The Mutilate Vortex Beast. I think this is just such a good unit as well. I think this might need nerfing. I think the Mutilate Vortex Beast might need nerfing. For 160 points, I think. Yeah, 160 points. You've got a crazy shooting weapon. D6 plus 3. Strength 9 minus 2 damage. You've got one shot, which is dev wounds. 18, strength 18 minus 3. D6 plus 6. And then you got the torrent weapon, which is strength 6 minus 1 damage, but ignores cover. They're pretty good in combat, which is nice. And then they've got the Mutilating Vortex. Any movement phase roll, D6 for each unit within 6. On a 2 to 3, that unit takes a mortal wound. On a 4 to 5, takes D3. On a 6, takes D6. Just for being cool. And then they make you take a battle shot test. So they just turn up and drop mortal wounds just by being nearby. And then obviously when you channel the warp, which is essentially when you cast a ritual and then roll an additional D6 on top of the 2D6, you add one to the test. So he just gives you, if you need to get that buffed ritual off, he's just going to give it +1 if you need to channel it to get the higher version, the 10 plus, the 11 plus, etc. It's on Invuln, he's got Feel No Pain, and he's pretty good in combat with strength 10, minus 2, 3 damage, or 15 attacks at strength 7. He's a great unit. He's such a great unit. Now I think most people probably take 2. I think when I was building lists, I was looking at Molar Fiends, completely forgetting that they have access to the Mutilate Vortex Beast. Even though it wasn't designed to be one, it's just become such an iconic Thousand Suns unit of a big, angry Gribbly that it's just really good for psychers nearby. And for 160 points, you're probably taking 1 at least, maybe 2. You could even take 3 and it wouldn't be too bad. You know? You think, oh, there's no anti-tank? Okay, cool. Take 3 Vortex Beasts and fire those Warp Vortex Beam weapons and see what happens, you know? For 320 points, that's such a good staying power. It's good distraction for, like, Magnus, so Magnus can do his thing. It's good distraction from, like, a Demon Prince, so they can go do their thing. And then you've got ranged characters. It drops mortal wounds. They're so, so good. They're so, so good. And memes aside, Helldrake's trash. I don't know why they keep printing it in the book. I don't know why they keep making them. They must have so many Helldrakes in the warehouse that they just keep printing them into codexes, hoping people buy them. Because it's just like, what's the point, bro? But I think that's the tier list. I think I'm pretty happy with that. It is a bit of a goat Mutilith meta coming out with it. But like I said at the start, I think Thousand Suns, no matter what list you write, the detachment doesn't control the list too much. So every unit in here will work in nearly every detachment. The vehicles are only all so low because the Warp Meld... Is it Warp Meld? No, it's not Warp Meld. Warp Bane. Warp Force. Warp Forged. There we go. Warp Forged detachment will make all these vehicles a lot better, which is why they're all sat in situational. But usually you're going to be taking Hellbrutes, Predators, and Zakatar, you know, and Rhinos in the Warp Forged cabal. But I think every other unit works in every detachment, you know. You could take any of these in any detachment. Obviously, Zangors as well. Not only are the vehicles being carried, pulled down to situation because they're only really good in one detachment. The Zangor is in S because of one detachment mostly. Zangor Jail is real. But outside of, like, if you take Zangor out, you take a couple of these and move them up, or just, like, ignore them because of the detachment. Everything else in here will work in every detachment, which is actually really nice because that just shows how much internal balance the Codex has. I just don't think other armies are ready to deal with Thousand Suns. I think overall the internal balance of the Codex is really good, but other armies are just going to struggle with it, dude. Other armies are going to have a problem. I don't think really, outside of like the Helldrake, any unit is specifically bad. I don't think even the Land Raider is fine. You know what I mean? The Land Raider is fine. In the Warp Forge Cabal, he's pretty good. With the buffs, he's pretty good. But the problem that Thousand Suns are going to have is that they only have the 4 powers, or 5 powers or whatever. And once they've cast them, those units die, but that is it. They're pretty... The power level of each unit drops significantly without Destiny's Rune, without the... I forget what it's called. Without Twist of Fate, you know? But with those, in your pocket, every unit has such potential, which is quite interesting. I think they just have so much potential in every time that a unit is considered, is that their 0 to 0 is so much 0 to 100 is so much longer than every other unit, which is usually like, put it in the right detachment, it goes from like 5 being fairly average to 7, whereas Thousand Suns is like every unit is a 5. You put it in the right attachment, it becomes a 7. With the right ritual, it becomes a 9, if that makes sense. I don't know if that analogy makes sense. It made sense when I thought about it in my head. But the scale of potential is so much longer because you have those rituals in your pocket which affect the army. It's kind of like looking at Space Marines. Because you look at a Space Marine unit and you go, that is pretty good. In the right attachment, it's better. Without the moment, it's insane. Like a Vindicator, for example, in Space Marines. I think Thousand Suns feel similar because they have so many good abilities to give out that the army rule is so impactful compared to a lot of armies. So, but that's my tier list. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comments. If anything you don't agree with, let me know. I will say you're wrong there because this is completely objective and not subjective whatsoever. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Check out my other Thousand Suns content and hopefully I'll catch you next time. Bye! Okay, that's the tier list. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Do you think the Thousand Suns need another unit and what would it be? I think Thousand Suns could do with like a demon, an actual Thousand Suns demon engine of sort. I think the Mutilate Vortex Beast is a really cool, like I said, a really cool iconic Thousand Suns unit, even though it was never supposed to be. It was designed for Warhammer Fantasy. I think the problem is all the vehicles are just Chaos vehicles. It'd be nice if they had like an iconic demon engine that's not like the Secatar. They could do with a melee unit, yeah. They could do with a good melee unit, but again, I think they've kind of like pigeonholed the Chaos factions, except for Death Guard, really. Like World Eaters are the combat one, Emperor's Children are the combat one, but a lot faster, and then Thousand Suns are the shooty one. With Death Guard are just like survivable, but also really good in shooting and really good in combat. Thousand Suns are the Death Guard are the all-rounder, whereas Thousand Suns are the shooting one, right? Shooting with cool tricks. And I think they're really fun to play. After playing with them, I've kind of only really thought about playing Thousand Suns for the rest of the week. So I'm really excited to play them on Friday. I might even play them at Competitive Club this week, depending on what I'm doing. I might be like, anyone want to play against the new Thousand Suns, because I'm really enjoying it. So we'll see. So that's it. That's the tier list chat. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. The only demon engine I can think of from the old school epic was a flying tower of sorcerer and a couple of flyers. Yeah, let's give him some terrain that shoots lasers. That could be fun. My biggest problem with Tsons is they're a bit boring as an opponent to fight against. Yeah, they're there's a lot of non-interactivity with Thousand Suns, I think. You know, like the psychic phase is completely uninteractive, which is super shit. That is really poo, to be honest. We kind of do what Eldar and Tower do, but go a long way around to do it. Yeah, they kind of kite you a little bit, right? They like what I saw with Elliot is I was just like kiting him and shooting him. Which of the 4 new Chaos armies is the most broken? Death Guard. Death Guard all day. Yeah, I've not played against Thousand Suns. I do wonder how it will be to play against them, but they do feel a little uninteractive. They just do their thing, and then you try and deal with it. You know? They come over, they do their thing, and then you just have to go, right, okay, well, I took that on the chin. Right, what's next? Tsons aren't fun to play against. I found this a lot. Yeah, I get that. There's all of their buffs and stuff. You can't do anything about it. Like, again, like, we got rid of the psychic phase for a reason, and now they've just given it back, but there's no way to deal with it, you know? You just, like, go, okay. Before, at least you had, like, one chance to stop a spell. They roll a spell on a 7 or whatever, you got a chance to roll an 8 and get rid of it. Now there's nothing, which is really weird, you know? The only way you can get it is, like, some abilities that are, like, feel no pain against psychic, like Sisters of Silence. Which is a bit strange, let's be honest. Why spend all that time getting rid of the psychic phase to just bring it back? But they couldn't write into the core rules, or into the rule of the codex, you cast a spell that your opponent can try and deny it. That'd be really weird. So with Tsons, you need to stay away from your opponent and then bait them into doing stuff you can exploit with tricks. Yeah, definitely. Again, they've got the speed, they've got the manipulation of they control the game quite heavily. And it's only if they make a mistake or overcommit that they lose, I think. Anyway, chat. It's been fun. It's been emotional, but I'm going to call it a day there. I'm going to go and try and paint my Mutilate Vortex Beast ready for Friday. Because I have no other plans. I've got my Mutilate Vortex Beast. I'm hopefully going to play one on Friday against Billy. So I'll have 2 with 6 Zangor with Enlightened. How many points is that? Not many. Daily games. It's 1:30, bro. Bro, it's 1:30. You just want me to play Game Dull, don't you? What it was called. Bro, what am I paying for? A really insightful review of the Thousand Suns Codex, baby? Play Game Dull, okay. 2 Beasts and 6 Enlightened is 400. Absolutely wonderful. With the Exalted, right? It's 500 with the Exalted. Also, what was this about Helldivers earlier? I completely forgot. I kept seeing people mention it. I know we were talking about AI like 4 hours ago. Oh. Everyone is pretending Helldive is relevant again. It actually is. It actually is. Do you want to see some stats? You know, I did a video for Helldivers 2, the board game. A month ago. Yikes. I'm happy to share my revenue because I don't care. But actually, Helldivers 2 is relevant again. Look at this spike, bro. That was how it was performing, and then it's just had like a spike in the last 2 weeks. 11 days. I was playing last night and there was 190,000 people fighting for Super Earth. That is pretty high. My average watch time is pretty low. That's my usual watch. This is what people usually watch for the length of time. For this video, it's quite low, but bazinga. Look at that fucking number climb, bro. It's a bit wild, actually. I've not seen many videos do that. I think it's just because of Helldivers. If we go It's had a little bit of a climb. It's not helping that it's 3 years. So yesterday, 163. I don't like his website. Theme charts, that's it. PvE games become mad popular when PvP games like COD become unplayable because of hackers. Yeah. Hellstorm is just a great game as well. Helldivers is just a good game. Look at that spike there. 150 last November. I presume that was the last big update. That's when it came out. 400k. It had such a drop off, but then it's like there's like that's such a spike, and that's only yesterday. They used a massive update yesterday. Did they? I should update it. Big trot updates. That's normal though for like a PvE game, right? This is pretty normal. They're still having like 100,000 players, like over a year on, is great. To get 200,000 last night is mint. This is just Steam as well. It doesn't include PlayStation or whatever. Took forever for the install. Was mine donated? Maybe I'll jump on later. I was playing it when I played the ball game. I had to like keep it. I had to keep it secret because it was all under NDA. But I was like, oh, fuck, I really need to play Helldivers. And it's just starting the download. How big's the download? It doesn't say. Excellent. If I disconnect now, chat, blame Helldivers. Oh, it's allocated. 1% complete. It doesn't say how big it is. Oh, 10 gig. Alright, whatever. Now it's about just rewrite a bunch of stuff. Right, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Right, let's do Game Dull then, because Detnull's right mad. Not one gifted today from Detnull, but he wants Game Dull. It's adding customization to prime weapons. Oh, that sounds fun. Game Dull. Guess the game by its cover. Red, the game's incorrect. Yellow, the game shares the same franchise, but not the same. Green, the game shares the same franchise and saga. In the game, you try to guess matches any of its genres. With the game of the day, they explain next to the name. Okay. Far Cry 3. Daily game's done. Thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate you. Bro, that was easy. Got it in one. Cool. Great job. Great job, everyone. Took me longer than to fucking read the instructions. Do artwork. There's some indie shit in it. Is it not going to be like actual games? It's going to be some indie shit? It's going to be that Five Nights at Freddy's game that they brought out. Five Nights. Not Security Breach. What did they bring out recently? There's one based on the book. I'll just try. No. Wrong franchise and saga. So this means what platforms it's on, right? If it's indie games, then it's fucking, there's millions of them. Indie adventure. That doesn't help. Oh, I know I skipped twice. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea. Some indie game. Yeah, fuck knows. The Case of the Golden Idol. Yeah, I would never play this. Sorry, lads, I won't play this. Keywords. What's keywords? Try to guess a video game in less than 6 attempts. Try to guess the game based on the clues presented to you in the form of phrases or words, emojis, or even pixelated cover art. Try to combine all this information to decipher which game is hidden behind these clues. Superhero T-Rex sequel cell shaded. Superhero T-Rex sequel cell shaded. I look, I think it was Mario Odyssey, but is Super Mario superhero? No. Mission-based 2D red suit speed up. T-Rex. Superhero T-Rex sequel cell shaded. Mission-based 2D red suit speed up. Is this just going to be another tiny indie game that no one's ever heard of? Red Suit 2D. I think it's a superhero game. I don't think it's Marvel. Platform. Can I get Marvel out of the way? Tag team VFX powers enemy waves movie world. Oh. Oh, what was that game? With the guy in a red suit. Has he got like a white helmet on? $2D red suit speed up. Ah, what's it called? Oh, fucking hell, dude. Ah, it's not an indie game. It's like a main. It's like a cult classic, not an indie. Rank system, slow motion, stage bosses, combo system. That's not helping. That's so generic. Voice acting, stylish action, cinematic effects, sidekick gameplay. I think it is. I just can't remember his fucking name. Summit. View? Beautiful Joe? Correct franchises. Is it Beautiful Joe 2? Let's go! Let's go! Bro got it! He's a superhero! I didn't realize he was a superhero, but when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I get it.
The world's coolest action hero is back, and more
Is it Capcom? Oh, well done, Chris. You got it, mate. Fucking hell, I ain't played that in years, bro. Right, guess. What's guess? So pick any game, and the scissor reveal properties about it. The colour of each clue will show you how close you are to guessing the daily game. Type of game to begin. Legend of Zelda. A Link Between Worlds. Okay. So it was released in 2013. One of these is correct. It's not a puzzle role-playing RPG. It wasn't for the 3DS. It is single player. It wasn't by Nintendo. Okay. So what games came out in 2013, baby? There is potentially an action, fantasy, sandbox, historical, or open world. That's not by Nintendo. It might be third person. But did it come out in 2013? What games came out in 2013? I don't fucking remember. What about Halo? Halo Reach came out in 2011. Let's try Halo 4. When did that come out? 2014? Oh, it's before. So it's a shooter. A shooter in 2013. They definitely came out for Xbox and PC. So it's Call of Duty. Oh, no, it's by Microsoft. A shooter in 2013 by Microsoft. Oh, this one's hard. Gears? Okay. Dead Space. Dead Space? Oh no, Dead Space isn't co-op. It was definitely by Microsoft because that's yellow, which means one or more is correct. Wasn't Epic Games or 343. It's got to be Microsoft. What shoot came out in 2030? Unreal. Third person. Dead Space 2? No, Dead Space 3 was co-op. Ah, that's worse. It was just... Oh, it's by Xbox. I'm an idiot. What am I doing? It's by Xbox. Ah, right year, though. What came out in 2013 for Xbox exclusively? Oh, Xbox exclusives, chat. What came out for Xbox exclusively? I can think about Halo and Gears. What about Sunset? That was way too new. What was the other one? I don't think of an Xbox exclusive. I can't think of fucking nothing. Wait, correct franchise, Gears of Wrong Saga. Wait, correct franchise. It's a Gears game. Wait, I'm an idiot. It's a Gears game. Right? Is it War Judgment? Let's go! Let's Let's go! Gears Judgment, dude. I mean, literally, that's all it took. It took me realizing that I'd got the fucking franchise already. I'd already got the... I completely missed that. So many clues to take in. There's so many clues to take in that I completely forgot that, like, the franchise was right on the end. Never even heard of that one. It's Gears 4, essentially. But then they released Gears 4. Right, was it Gears, essentially the 4th one? Well, they got rid of Marcus. It became about... What's his face? Can't remember his name. I have a figure of him behind me.
Your squad might have killed a lot of locusts today, Lieutenant.
I never played this one.
But this war is
Bad,
only
that's it.
just begun.
That's bad.
Our survival depends on one thing. Gears follow orders. But I look at you and I don't see a gear.
Gears follow orders.
I see a
I have it.
hero. Well, congratulations, hero. Millions of citizens you've sworn to protect might die because of what you did today.
Oh, it's a prequel.
I hereby charge Kilo Squad with desertion, cowardice, trespassing, the theft of experimental military technology, and treason.
Gears is such a good game on it, let's be honest.
Does that sound about right to you, Lieutenant Baird?
There he is. What a game franchise. Gears just came out of nowhere, was amazing. Yo, Ty! Holy shit. Ty, thank you for the 5 gifted, dude. I was not watching chat. Dude, thank you for the 5 gifted. I'm so sorry I missed that. Thank you so much for the 5. That's really kind of you. I was too in the sauce playing the game, bro. I was playing the game. I was too in the sauce. I completely missed it. Thank you, bud. Really appreciate you. Oh, anyway, chat. I think that's it for today. I'm not going to do any more Day of the Games because I'm going to call it a day there. Got you, bud. You were locked in. Thank you, Ty. You're a legend, mate. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Fun stream. Fun stream. Thousand Suns tier list, which is nice. We've got, I said I've got a video coming out hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. We're just getting that checked by the sponsor, then it can come out. We've then got a battle report on Friday, which is going to be fun. And then there might be a Codex review. I don't know if I hear back. I'll try and do a Codex review, but it's not looking likely, bro. It's not looking likely. So, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, chat, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you. And hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one. I'll catch you Friday for the big game. The big game day. Yeah, baby. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. Have fun. Let's go. Bye-bye. Bye, 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 bye for now. Love you. Bye. Bye.